Technical difficulties? Yes?
Okay,
Okay.
so yes, mayor and council members and community, I need to apologize. We're experiencing a technical difficulty right now. Those who are here can obviously hear the meeting. The only way you can enjoy the meeting remotely so far tonight is via Zoom. So if you access Zoom, you can participate, you can watch the meeting. The meeting is being recorded. Our challenge tonight is it's not currently working on YouTube or Channel 10. We are working to resolve those issues, but it's not known if we will be able to. So I do apologize for those people trying to access it through those means. I'd like to recommend that we start and allow us to try to troubleshoot the YouTube and the Channel 10 issues while we're going, if that's acceptable to the council.
Anybody object? Okay, we'll proceed. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Mara, roll call, please.
Mayor Gilman,
Here?
Mayor Pro Tem Meng,
Here.
Councilmember Roll.
Here.
Councilmember Lang,
Here.
Councilmember Whitman.
Here. Thank you so much. And Ms. Mara, would you please lead us in the pledge?
Yes.
Thank you.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you for that. I want to propose 2 changes to the agenda. You may have others. My suggestions for the change would be that after number 7, the goals and tactics, my suggestion is to move 11, the community pool options, right after number 7 to have that, to make sure that we don't miss that because it seems important. And also my suggestion is 12 follows 11. So if you are agreeable to that, on our agenda packet, it would be 7, 11, 12, and then 8. That's
Mayor, the only thing
Yeah.
I'm going to add,
Please.
if you don't mind, 13 is a bit time sensitive
Okay.
as well.
Well, then I'm happy to say 11, 12, 13. Fine with me?
Fine with me.
Well, also, I imagine those going fairly quickly, at least 11 and 12 and 13, I imagine going quickly. Any other changes to the agenda? Any objections?
Nope.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll proceed with that.
Do we need a motion or do we?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, okay.
Okay, sure, go ahead.
I'll make a motion to approve the changes.
thank you. Second that. Great. Any objections? We can do a roll call on that. Okay, sounds good. All right, so now we have a presentation from the Ojai Valley Fire Safe Council. Hello.
Hello, slideshow?
James and Christian, if you could pull up this slideshow, please.
Thank you.
There we go, thank you. Well, good evening.
Hey.
Members, Mayor. As you know, I'm Christopher Danch. I'm the Executive Director of the Ojai Valley Fire Safe Council. We're here for our first quarterly report under our professional services agreement. So we're covering the months of October, November, and December. And so, next slide, please. So obviously, the overall scope of work of this professional services agreement is divided into 2 broad areas: community outreach and education, and wildfire risk mitigation. The status reporting cadence for this agreement is a monthly report to the city manager and others, and then a quarterly presentation to this council. And then we're looking at an annual comprehensive review, and we can also discuss our key performance tracking indicators. Next, please. So as we work toward building increasing wildfire resilience in the Ojai Valley, sort of an overview of where we are as we started, we believe we are making significant strides in wildfire preparedness and community resilience. We've already conducted multiple workshops and presentations and have reached literally hundreds of residents and local organizations in this last 3 months. We have a home hardening assessment target, of which we're 25% of the way there in the first quarter. We have 77 pending right now, so we're looking to meet one of the few quantitative metrics in this. A lot of it is qualitative. Of course, we continue to work with all of our partners throughout this agreement on all their other projects, and that is constantly building the base. and building up an overall strategy for the Ojai Valley and our nearby watershed. And then we are, we're looking at working on the new website and workshops and materials for the rebate program. They're all in development to support the residents. And in beginning of this contract, we added 1 full-time staff member and 2 contractors to allow us to do this work. Next. We've given a number of presentations. It was a little tough over the holidays. People tend to disappear in the holidays. But we gave a workshop at the Ojai Garden Club, 25, 30 people there. Topics we talked about: general wildfire preparedness, Zone 0 is always that, the ember-based risk that we have in this valley, landscape management considerations to create defensible space. And during that time, we had 12 of our almost 100 home hardening assessment signups. Next. We also gave a presentation to the Ojai Valley Hospital Guild, and that was about 40 or 50 people in attendance there. Basically covered the same topics that people want to know, and often responding to questions for that. And during that time, we got another 25 home hardening assessments to sign up. Next, please. We also gave a talk at the Ojai Valley Lions Club in November. That was for about 35 to 40 people. Again, the same topics, because that's what we're doing in this outreach, and that's what people want to know about. That's where a lot of the questions are. And it is interesting, the amount of anxiety and concern about the upcoming Zone 0. We do want to point out to people that Ventura County already has a Zone 0 that went into effect in March in 25. And as the enforcement agency responsible for the new state regulations when they ever show up, will be done probably most likely in alignment with what they're doing with the current county Zone 0 ordinance. And again, we got more signups for that. Next, please. And of course, we were there for Ojai Day. Mayor Andy came by, and we had quite a bit. We shared our booth with Ventura County CERT because we have a training. They have a training session coming up. For those who have not signed up, please do so. It is invaluable training, and we need a number of people there to make the course worthwhile because it's quite an endeavor. So support our local CERT, and of course we met with literally hundreds of people on Ojai Day. Next. The Ojai Valley News put together a wildfire resource guide, which is still available online and on stands, and we gave a fair amount of assistance in putting that together, not just the article we have here, but also in the resources that went into the resource guide. Next. And then in whenever that was, we had December, thank you. We had a workshop on working with a conversation between contractors who do kind of work for risk mitigation and the residents themselves. So we had a basic standing room only crowd in the commission room, and it was a pretty lively event. And again, people, it was not just us making a detailed presentation about home hardening and defensible space, even though we do that. What it was it was almost entirely driven by questions from the community, that we want an interaction between the community, contractors, and us and let the community attendees drive the conversation about what they are concerned about. It's no surprise that what they're concerned about is Embercast and Zone 0 and defensible space and home hardening. But that's what it was, and a number of the contractors there work on landscape and on home hardening assessments and retrofits, and in materials that might work well within Zone 0. That would be changes from the combustible materials within that zone to materials that are non-combustible and meet with that compliance. And that is recorded and is archived on our website. People can watch it there. Next, please. So this is very broad, because we maintain the privacy of people we do home hardenings for. We don't release addresses, names, or direct locations, but this is the general area that we have. We're 25% toward our target already. And when we're coming up to a retrofit program and a tool lending and those kinds of considerations that we've been retained to advise the city on, the data that's coming from this and all the hundreds of home hardenings we've done and Ventura Regional done, because we use the same software, we all combine this under the Wildfire Collaborative. And then we'll think that'll help support some concrete recommendations to the city as how it can best help with that kind of thing. Okay, so now we have 77 pending, and that's very time consuming. You know, it's an hour and a half for each one of these things, not counting scheduling and everything. So it does consume a lot of time, but they're very important, and we need, you know, and in the software we use, it allows people to put information in about the risk mitigation measures they've taken, so we can all help track that and help them. So that's important. We did get a slowdown in January. There's a glitch in the software that we pay for, so that's been resolved. Correct, Sudeep? All right, thank you. Next. We continue to provide service through our extensive network of active partnerships, and as it's always been, and ever more so, greatly extends our reach of a very small organization to do a lot more than our numbers would indicate is possible. So that has continued and actually continues to build and intensify. Next. We're involved with, this is an interesting diagram. This is actually produced by the Cal State Northridge and under contract with the Ventura River Watershed Council, of which we're a member. We're also on the leadership committee and also on the advisory group to the $2 million Watershed Resilience Project grant from the state DWR. What they were looking at was a way of mapping the networks in connection between all the organizations in the Watershed Council, which number in excess of 60. The relative size of those, colored by agency, CBO, et cetera, the relative size, we put it up there once, kind of a fun thing to look at and trace it, but it just shows how interconnected and connected this watershed actually is. It's actually phenomenal how much work goes between people and how much collaboration and cooperation is present. But we're looking at that, so the orange are small CBOs, and the size represents your degree of networking, and we're pretty well represented there. We're like number 12 or something on the list of 60-some organizations in terms of our level of connectivity with other people in the watershed. So just want to brag about that a little bit. Next. Coming up, we have our Wildfire Resilience Festival. That is under this PSA, and that's set for April 25th, so save the date. That's an all-day affair. We'll have information booths, workshops, demonstration, of course, fire trucks from the county fire and Forest Service, children's activities, food, music, you name it, but it should be a very informative and fun event. We have put these on in the past very successfully for the Fire Safe Council. We're looking to make this the biggest and best we've yet to put on, but please save the date for that. Next. We have scheduled a 2-day wildfire resistant construction and landscaping course. That's an NFPA course. That's part of our contract requirements. That date has been set for May 18th and 19th, with another one, depending on attendance, scheduled for in August. So we have signed a contract. We're moving towards that, and we haven't really figured out the out-of-town fee schedule yet. But for Ojai residents, the course is free. Students are free. We want people there. And Councilmember Rule, we're really interested in having a student presence there, okay? So for everybody who's involved in that level, this is something where it's a fairly technical course, but not as much as some of the other NFP, but it's meets all the standards. And we've worked with this guy before. He's really good. And so it's a very informative day. And recommend everybody be there or get someone to be there, though we do have a limit of 40 people for the course. But we'll see what happens. If the attendance is there, when more people want, we can fit in, we have another session scheduled, a placeholder for August. You can see what's targeted. What comes there is a wide range of people, but it includes in these courses, because that's how we're certified, it's many times fire professionals come there. And you get people in these courses coming from all over the West to be there because it meets standards for their continuing education and training credits that they have to have, right? So it meets those standards. Firewise community leaders, obviously want the city and agency staff, in addition to the general public. So we'll be putting out a lot more information about this in the near future. Next, please. Focus for this quarter, which moving into the last month of this quarter, is we continue on our community-wide initiatives. We're looking at the Firewise community support. I know that members of the council have been contacted by our staff about looking at your district and how can we organize this, right? And this thing plays into a lot of things. Firewise is as much a behavioral thing as it is an actual quantitative, we did this, we did that. It's really there to get people recognizing the risk, what can be done to mitigate the risk, and then working together as a neighborhood, as a Firewise community to get that done. And then, of course, there's tracking involved. All that's very helpful for the community. It's helpful for insurance, and it helps us know, track what's being done and what more needs to be done. We've been planning for several months what we call in the PSA the Urban Core Center Initiative. That is based on looking specifically at the targeted risk of urban conflagration. So we'll have more about that in our next presentation. We have worked extensively on the web page for city linking, but that will be up and running by the next time we present. Obviously preparing for the Wildfire Festival and the 2-day course. That all takes a lot of upfront, as you all know, and we continue our ongoing hardening assessments. Next. While this is not a city-funded project, it's one that benefits the residents of this valley and many others. And some of you attended the town hall a couple weeks ago in which we introduced this project. I believe Councilman Rule was there. I don't know if anybody else is there. There was well over 100 people there, not counting our advisors and facilitators, showing the excitement and support for this project on going both ways. And so we're in the planning grant. Next slide, please. So in that, we have continued to engage the public. So on the left-hand side is scenes from the town hall on January 28th, which was a tremendous turnout and I think was very educational for people. In the middle was one of the first of our focus groups, where we look at a particular topic or particular item of resilience. This one was about 30 people representing about 30 organizations came and spent a day with us. And of course, we had the all-time our heron standing and watching us, which I believe is a symbol for resilience.
There you go.
Right, and that bird would not leave. It stood there right next to our tables and stared at us. Like, you gotta get this done? So we even thinking about making it a symbol.
Nice.
It was right. Yeah. Okay, and so there's more. This kicks off an entire two arm engagement. One is what's called the collaborative stakeholder structure. That involves we have the core working group, which has been meeting since last June, and that is us, Ojai Unified School District, Ventura County Fire, Help of Ojai, and our architect, Mark Whitman. And then we have these coming up is 2 formal committees that will start meeting next month. That's the operational working group, of which gentlemen like Mr. Tyler will be there, Mr. Abbott, I'm sorry. And that is looking at the infrastructural needs for the conversion of the Honor Farm toward this purpose of this grant. And then we have a community advisory board, which looks at the programs and services that we will be looking at the possibility of having there, see what the community wants in terms of building resilience, including wildfire resilience and all disaster-related resilience. And then we have our ongoing focus groups that will happen, and we'll also have our community workshops here in the valley and up in Upper Ojai. Next, please. For those who are interested, on our site is a timeline of this project. It's an exciting and important project to us, and I think to many people in the community. So I urge you to take a look at it and see what we're doing. It directly benefits the residents of the city of Ojai, and benefits the city in helping to maintain its obligations for mass care and shelter under the mass care and shelter annex and mutual aid agreements that are there. Next. So we make our pitch here. The city can help make this happen along with all the other participants in this. It can support its operations down the road, and it can be an integral partner in what we're doing. It's a very exciting project, and we welcome the city's participation. Next. With that, is there any questions?
Yeah, great.
Yeah, thank you so much. So when you talk about wanting the city's participation in the community resilience centers, what kind of partnership or what kind of support would that look like?
Well, could be begin with participation in one or both of these committees, having a representative from the city there to take a look at what we're doing. That's one thing. To become knowledgeable about the project, come to our workshops and send somebody there to participate with that. At some point, this is going to have ongoing financial needs for O&M, and for the extent that the county, community people, the city, and others benefit from this thing, we're looking at how can we do this. We're going to have a draft O&M plan going into the next round, which the next round is at the end of this year, and that's for $10 million. So we're pitching that we're going to get this. We do have priority as a prior grantee, highly competitive program, but we also are doing what we said we're going to do. The Growth Council that funds this has decided they want to put more on us, despite not giving us any more money. But we have confidence that we'll have a really good shot at this. And I feel that way partly because we stood out in the grant application itself and what they told us. To give you an idea, there is round numbers. There's $110 million in the first round of this grant, spread across 3 phases. There was $1 billion in applications from people. We were number 4 out of the almost 90 applicants just for the planning phase, and only 9 were awarded. So this is extremely competitive program, but we do have some hope in what we're doing is a really good job. One of the things they said when we started out was, they wanted to show how we're going to do this collaborative structure, and what we presented and all the letters of commitment that we presented, they said, you're starting where most people want to end up. Right. So I think we're on a good road for this one. And this has many good purposes, and it's not just emergency. It's the whole other side. It's economic, work training, and working with school districts and the other schools, all the CTE program, all that's happening. But also the other aspects of resilience that are going to become more and more important. So it's a long road, but I think the city can begin by participating in one or more of these committees, attending workshops, and understanding what this project is about.
We talked about this briefly, but you mentioned in the initial proposal about the recommendation of where beacon boxes could be placed in the city or in the valley. So I presume that's coming maybe in the next report or something like that?
Well, we had put that in our original scope of work, and then it was removed. Okay. So when we're doing that, that's now in addition to
I see.
the city contract.
Thanks
We
for
had put it in the original scope of work, but then we were asked to cut it back, and that was one of the things we had to cut. So, but we will be talking about that because I think it's an important project. We, and the county fire really supports it.
Yeah.
But that's something we can talk about. But at some point, we will be making a proposal to the city regarding that.
Okay.
Okay?
No, thank you.
Because we're doing work outside the city and raising the money to place boxes out in the valley and in Upper Ojai and key locations.
Understood.
Go
please.
I just wanted to point out that as we've been discussing, you mentioned to me that the grants have become so competitive now, where they used to be sort of there for the asking. Now it's a real battle and a real fight. So I mean, it just takes a lot. So you're coming to the city as well to talk to us about what we can potentially provide. I think it's just good to know that the grants are so competitive now. It's not easy money anymore.
No, the amounts have gone up since I started, but the number of applicants has grown exponential, okay? And the need for all of us out there across the state, across the country, the amount of money that's in those grants seems like a lot, but it is a drop in the bucket where 90+% of all applicants go hungry. We got an issue about where we are. Now, another way the city can participate, we don't know about this yet, but some of these grants, particularly infrastructure grants, often require a municipality or a county involved, right, as a co-applicant, just because that's the way the grant is. A lot of FEMA grants are that way. A lot of EPA grants are that way. We as a 501c3 are not eligible for some of these things. So we would look to partner with the city and the county on some of these grants to help support this work and other work. So there are grants out there. When we get to looking at what is our best recommendation for how you spend your money or in grant money that we get together on retrofits, what's the most cost-effective but effective thing to do out there? Because just going out and doing stuff randomly is not going to cut it, right? Part of what we're doing in this process is to find that way of saying, okay, here is the strategic nodes of intervention. We're not going to change every house. How do we do this? Because the random stuff, is the time up?
No.
Oh.
I wanted to ask you a related question.
Okay.
Though, was with, I presume, especially when you're working not only the resiliency centers, but outside of the city, is your relationship with the county strong and you're feeling, it's the back and forth is great. So the partnering for these things, the pipeline's already set.
Yes.
Okay.
It's there. The county is a strong partner.
Good.
They've been involved from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, it's complicated, about,
understand.
with the CUP and the master lease and other parts of the Harner Farm and how it's divided up and everything that happens out there, right?
Yeah.
But they're right there on our core working group. They're supportive. Matt Levere's office is very much has supported this every step of the way.
Thanks.
We just have a complicated project ahead of us to
Yep.
get this thing on the ground.
Thank
But we're confident moving forward, and we got a good team. And yes, the county's a good partner. And then more importantly, they see us as a trusted partner as well.
Thank you.
Okay?
Any other questions? Thank you so
Okay,
much.
well, thank you.
Wow. Super.
We'll be back,
Okay.
as they say.
Love it.
All right, bye-bye.
Thank you for keeping us safe.
Mayor, I'm sorry to interrupt
Yes,
you.
go.
So we have now resolved the issue with YouTube, so that came on about halfway through the Fire Safe
Thank
Council.
you.
But again, viewers were able to watch on Zoom before then. We are still experiencing difficulties with Channel 10, so it is not available right now. We're
Thank you.
working on it. Thank you.
Okay. Moving on to the city manager's report.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I was out last week, but I do have a couple announcements to make. One is that we have posted for the accountant position, so that happened today. So that is up there and out there, and we will keep you advised as to how that recruitment is going. The other is the preliminary concert lineup for the Libby Bowl for the 2026 season was announced today. Again, it is the start of the announcement. It probably is about half of the acts that will be there this season, so stay tuned. LibbyBowl.org is the address. Thank you.
And can I ask you, the survey got an extension? We just saw that today.
Yes,
Worth
and I might
mentioning?
have Ms. Cervantes comment on
Yes,
that if you
please.
don't mind. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, the general plan survey for economic diversification is extended until March 6th.
Thank
So
you.
I have a question about that. I've received a lot of feedback that people get to the end of the survey and they want to know their age and their income, and they don't want to provide it, and they understand that then their survey answers won't be counted, but they don't want to provide their age and income.
And I think that is asked because when they're taking the data, that's a part of the analysis for that. Unfortunately, it is a part of it. It is confidential. None of that information will be sent out with that, but it is needed for the analysis of that survey.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you very much. I'll move on to public communications. Let's see. I'm not seeing any public comment cards right now.
We do have one online, though.
Okay. Online, please. Yes, go.
Mike Donahue, you are up.
I feel privileged. I'm the only person. Wow. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. I haven't seen the clock yet. All right. So my comments about the legal proceedings and the legal budget and the concerns that I have and other people have. So I sent you guys an email today, and it's probably on the public records in the minutes, but I'm going to read just the beginning of it. In February 6, 2026 edition of the Ojai Valley News, City Manager Ben Harvey was quoted in connection with the doubling of the legal fees facing the city of Ojai. Mr. Harvey stated, "We are not operating a system where everybody has to go through me to get to the city attorney." A remark that effectively acknowledged unrestrained access to legal services. He further referenced the absence of gatekeeping and the routine practice of staff members consulting directly with the city attorney. This is obviously expensive. What are the controls, people are asking? What are the procedures and processes? the sound judgment. Unrestrained access to legal service is really not the way to control things. And that's probably one of the reasons why costs have spiraled out of control. Unsurprisingly, many residents are shocked and angered by the scale of the legal fees facing the city and potentially the waste, and the situation has prompted serious questions about why this has occurred, what controls were missing, how much spending was allowed to escalate. Some community members have even begun to voice concerns about ethical lapses, poor judgment, or potential misconduct. So I took the time to create a draft procedure for you because it doesn't seem like one's in place. And so I've sent that with, it's about 3 or 4 pages long, and it's intended to help restore structure, accountability, and fiscal discipline. Because what were the words? The unrestrained access to legal services probably contributes to all this piling up of legal fees. As Mr. Harvey said, that there's no gatekeeping. So whatever you'd like to do, you're welcome to adapt it or disregard it or as you see fit. And I'm just here to support your efforts and try to reestablish some effective controls and further rebuild the public trust. So thank you for taking a look at that. It's in your inboxes, and hopefully it'll be well received. Take care and have a great meeting.
Thank you. Anyone else? Ms. Mara?
I'm sorry, no,
That's
there's
okay.
not.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, so moving on to the consent calendar. Does anybody have anything they would like to pull from the consent calendar?
Yes.
Okay.
I would like to pull item number 6.
Okay. That's one I was going to at least mention, but yes, great. Anything else?
I just have questions on
Micro-
3.
Okay, yep, questions on 3, perfect. Okay, great. Anything else by anyone? All right, so maybe can we have a motion to approve 2, 4, and 5?
I'll move to approve.
Second that. Quick roll call on that, please, Ms. Morrow.
Yes. I'm on. Okay, Councilmember Roll.
Yes.
Councilmember Lang.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Ming.
Yes.
Mayor Gilman.
Yes.
Councilmember Whitman.
Yes.
Super. Let's go to number 3. So on the warrants.
Okay. I just have a couple questions.
Yep.
The first one, let me see, check number 80184 to Madison AI Inc.
Yeah.
I know that you went, Mr. Harvey, that you went to that convention and got all sorts of information on AI, and you were going to bring that back to us and explain everything so I'm assuming this is part of that?
Yes, and so this is something that is coming in. We're implementing it as within budgeted amount and city manager spending authority. But we are going to, as we get closer to implementation, bring it back to council for a discussion. It's a closed AI system.
Wouldn't it seem like we should get the information before we approve? I'm just putting it out there to
Well,
have the information first.
So I've approved the purchase and the installation of it. It's within my spending authority.
Sure.
And it's primarily going to be a tool for staff to use, although ultimately we would like to expand it such that the public could use it, but that functionality is not quite there yet.
I similarly, I noted it, but not so much that I was needing the scrutiny, but more like I'm eager to hear about it.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
what I thought,
so once we get a little closer,
Cool.
we will definitely do that.
Sounds
It's
good.
been a fair amount of work to bring on board the community development side.
Mhm.
As you might imagine, there's a huge number of files that we have to lasso to bring into it.
Thank you.
And again, it is a closed system, meaning that we're just scouring our city documents and files.
Got it.
That was a question I had too, because
Yeah.
I know at Gold Coast Transit District we're doing an AI cybersecurity policy, and I think this brings up.
So we're bringing
That
back a
question
policy
too.
as well. So
Okay,
it's all
Great.
going sequentially, but right now
Thank
we're
you.
still in the getting ready phase, if you will.
Great,
Okay.
thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, the
Anything
next
else? Yeah.
one is check number 80207 to Ide Bailey,
Mhm.
reissuing of checks. That check number 79258 was written in July, so it's just like 6 months.
So I have Ms. Cho, who is actually at a conference now, but she has joined us remotely. So I might ask Ms. Cho if she could unmute and offer any additional information on that particular item. Ms. Cho, are you present?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
thank
we
you.
can.
So yes, that outstanding check from a few months ago, we had to reissue as they updated their remittance address. So it most likely got lost as it was sent to a prior address.
Thank you.
Okay, and let me see. Once again, with Matt and Taylor's old firm, the Encampment Resolution Grant Management. So is this, it doesn't say what month this is for, is this?
So we are currently still involving Taylor, and this is with the city attorney's blessing and approval on the Encampment Resolution Fund and the project. Specifically, right now, we're working on the bid to bring back to you guys, and so she's been actively involved in that project.
Okay. That's all I have.
So
Okay.
I had
Yeah.
a couple of questions
Sure.
about the Calitano costs as well. It doesn't say a month, so I'm curious as to what month this is being billed for.
This is December, I believe. Yeah, you'll see that the check date is at the end of January, and typically with the city attorney bills, they just basically lag a month, and so this is work done in December with the check issue date in January.
And are we still expecting bills from them in the $25,000 a month range?
No, there will be some limited invoices because there are still a few matters as we kind of complete the transition process that they're assisting with to make sure that there weren't any gaps in time or legal advice. But there are, we would not see that under their monthly retainer. It would be just very limited representation on limited matters.
Okay, great. So these other special products or projects, general services, labor and employment, criminal code enforcement, tax and assessment advice, and
All of-
general litigation were probably
All of
on
that
their
should,
way.
yeah, all of
out.
that should go away. I believe these are just those final invoices from December.
Uh-huh.
And there are two things that they're continuing to assist with. One was just similar, until we complete the transition process and certification for criminal prosecution matters, which are very limited. They have continued to provide some assistance. I expect that will be complete by next month. And then they've continued again because the bid for the permanent supportive housing project was underway, and they had provided some advice on that previously. We've continued to have them involved on a very limited basis, just to make sure that nothing fell through the cracks while that process was mid-process.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
ERF grant makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Because it is,
And
long-term and yeah.
And I suspect that once we come back to council with the completion of that bid process, that we'll be reevaluating that.
So just following up on that, I would understand then that all of the Colantano's firm services are on track to be ended.
Yes.
It's just a question of how much time it will take for the transition to be complete.
Exactly. And I expect that will be fully complete by the end of next month.
Right.
Thank you.
And just to say what I think you've told us before, if you were to jump on and work on those in their stead, it would take you more time in the moment to get up to speed. So it's not that we're doubling up on costs, we're actually saving.
Yeah,
Okay.
and that's kind of the point. We want to make sure that there's continuity of service, but there were a few things that they'd had very heavy involvement on, and so it rather than spending a significant number of hours to have someone on our firm, be fully up to speed, we've continued to have Taylor assist on a limited basis, and I believe their other attorney on the criminal side is Sergio, and he will be handling a hearing on March 2nd. But I think that will probably be the end of that part of their work. All of any work that they've done in the last couple of months has also been done under our supervision. So they're not representing the city independently.
Thank you.
What trial is March 2nd?
I don't
Please.
remember the case number, but I believe it was scheduled for March.
So
next
we have a
week.
number of
Yeah.
small-time cases that generally involve people that are drunk and disorderly that are arrested and then
Okay.
they proceed.
Yeah.
It's usually matters like that.
The city handles matters for drunk drivers?
Drunk and disorderly. So
Drunk and
so
disorderly?
you're in public and you're
Uh-huh.
inebriated and you're causing a disturbance. Yes,
Really?
depending on the
Okay.
case, yes.
Very
Not a
good.
lot of them, but we do have
Did not
some.
know that.
And we
Good to know.
can provide
Yeah.
more
right.
information about that to council
Yeah,
at a future
interesting.
meeting.
And are you done, Miss?
Yes.
Yeah, so I was gonna bring up, of course, 80215 Myers Nave. With
Mhm.
this bill, we are now at $250,000
Mhm.
up to Myers Nave. We put no limit on what they could do, how they could do it. And I can only say that with $250,000, I have to say, there was no oversight at all on these costs. And as I understand, we've also talked to Myers Nave, is that correct?
They are not currently doing any work for the city. So the work that is on this invoice was from December.
Again, okay.
And at this point in time, unless additional council direction is provided to do something else, they are not currently performing any work.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Is there any public comments for item number 3
No, Mayor.
in the audience? Okay.
Good evening.
Hi.
Okay, Larry Steingold. I was going to ask about Madison AI, and it looks to be very nice, a nice product. But if I was a city councilor, I would hope that the next purchase, that something would affect the overlay of the machinery of government, you would at least, can you get them demos? So that, I mean, I know you have power to spend 50 grand or whatever it is, but I think something that's really interactive, where you're going to be getting involved and where you see this thing, you should be seeing that product rather than just purchased versus a vehicle or a piece of wood. This is something that's more practical.
I wasn't sure that we were going to have access to it. It is.
No, but we're paying for it. All I'm saying is
Yeah,
as
we're
a
paying for
demo.
it. Okay, sure.
I mean, just the suggestion.
Again, we are planning on bringing back a summary of this, but the council member is correct. This is a staff tool.
No, I know it's a staff tool, but it's
Yes,
still.
yeah. Thank you, Mr. Steingold. Appreciate it. And nothing's online, correct?
No, Mayor.
Okay. I move to approve consent item number 3.
I'll second it.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Lang.
Yes.
Councilmember Rule.
Abstain.
Mayor Pro Tem Ming.
Yes.
Mayor Gilman.
Yes.
Councilmember Whitman.
Yes.
Thank you.
Motion passes.
Thanks. And then let's move on to number 6.
Okay, so number 6, I wanted to just mention that we have nominated the mayor, the chair of the Arts Commission, and I interviewed Carolyn Wagner, and I believe I saw her coming in.
Yes.
And I'm really excited to invite her onto the commission. She brings a breadth of experience from grant writing, working for nonprofits, having a background in various art forms, including working for museums, working with publications and literature. And I think she's going to be an incredible asset to not just to the commission, but to our whole community.
100%. Ms. Wagner, would you mind just coming up and introducing yourself? Not to put you on the spot, but thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm very honored to be to join the commission, and the arts are such an integral part of Ojai's culture, its identity, and I look forward to bringing whatever expertise I have to strengthening the arts here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate your service. Cool. Well, we did pull it out, so I moved to. Oh, go ahead. A question.
I just saw
Go
one
ahead.
thing that I did.
Oh, sure.
Item number 5. It's just a quick question.
Oh.
I'm totally in support of doing
Okay.
for the
online electronic filing. And I was just curious, but it says fiscal impact, sufficient funds exist in the fiscal year.
So it says the fiscal impact, there's sufficient funds in the 25-26 budget. And I was just curious, is there a fee to implement that for the electronic filing?
There was, and they pointed out that it was in their budget already when we approved it.
I don't recall what it was, but yeah,
Yeah.
we planned for
I
it
don't
in the,
recall. Okay.
in the fiscal year.
Yeah.
Okay.
But when we
Just-
get a fiscal analysis, it would be helpful if the cost
Is
Mhm.
to the city was part of the report.
Sure.
Happy to add that.
Thank you.
Okay.
So I'll make a motion to approve item number 6.
Second that. Please.
Councilmember Roll,
Yes.
Councilmember Lang,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Meng,
Yes.
Mayor Gilman,
Yes.
Councilmember Whitman.
Yes.
Wonderful.
passes.
Yay. All right. We're filling up our commission. So great. Thank you for everybody for doing that. Okay, so moving on to discussion. Our first item, city council goals, tactics, cost, and estimates.
Yes, Mayor, thank you. Just give me a moment.
Mm-hmm.
We are going to pull up the spreadsheet that we have printed out for all of you as a hard copy. And give me a moment to grab it from my binder also. There it is. Yes, thank you very much, Ms. Mara. Why are we here? What are we doing? We earlier, actually in multiple sessions, adopted the goals, and those are listed under the goal title on the left-hand side. And then council went through the process of narrowing down tactics that were thrown out there to come up with the ones that seem to be the most of highest priority by a majority of the body. City staff was then tasked with trying to determine an estimated cost for each tactic and was asked to bring that back, and that is what this finally is. So this is just, you now have a complete set, you have a goal, you have a tactic, you have an estimate of how much it's going to cost. And then going from here, we're going to come back and give you an update as to where we stand as far as how we've done to address the item. You'll notice that some of these tactics have notes that they have been appropriated, meaning that they're, the council action has been taken, it's been put into the budget. For instance, look at the top, affordable housing. You establish rental assistance through help of Ojai. You recall doing that. You've done that. Others have not, and because some of them are ones where there's a desire from the council to research something or to pursue, et cetera. So a lot of those that have kind of those less impactful action verbs, you'll notice we have a lower amount because it's mostly going to be largely existing staff work to figure. So there might be no cost, it's research, et cetera. But what we're just trying to do is give you an overall picture of what the effort is going to require. And I think largely you're going to see you don't have any huge items that are out there that you've asked us to tackle that aren't going to be covered. Some exceptions. I mean, for example, under the, under the wild, let me jump to the, pardon me for a second here. Public safety, I think was the one. No, that's not the one. The wildfire.
Signals.
Thank you. Sorry, it's not. There it is. Color was not jumping out. Right. That's a $500,000 potential expense. It might be less, but this also is one item that we've asked the federal lobbyists to pursue an earmark for the city specifically. So there might not be a cost for that. So Ms. Cervantes and I are overseeing this effort. We're working with staff. Again, we're going to be bringing back a status update to you, I think in April. Thank you. We're here to answer any questions that you have. We did post this on the website as a draft, just so this is out there so that people could see that. If you make any changes tonight, of course, that will be reflected in what we post. But you now have just a section on the city council section of the website that has your goals, has your tactics, has the estimated costs, the whole picture. Thank you.
A question that we had also heard from the community, and I think I understand it, and I'm just going to ask the question, and I think I know what the answer already is, but we had come up with several tactics that all of us went forward with. We then vetted it by some consensus to say these are the 3 or 4 that are the most important. we still have those others. We can always return to them.
Yes, you could.
Right. So I'm just saying they're not gone.
They're not gone.
They're not, we've agreed to prioritize because we can't do everything at once.
And, similarly, a couple things. So I'm glad that, thank you for bringing this up. If you wanted to add a goal, if you wanted to add a tactic, if you wanted to remove a goal, if you wanted to remove a tactic, that's all fine. You are working together as a council at a minimum until November of 2026. It might be longer depending on what goes on with that election. So, what happens with the next council, we don't know. Maybe there's a desire just to continue these goals and tactics. Maybe there will be new goals and tactics, but we're going to really try to get as much completed, obviously, before that November timeline.
Because my thought was like if we could come up, because there is still quite a few things that we haven't done, if we could come up as a council like 3 to 5 things that could totally be done by the end of the year, depending on, what happens with the next election.
Sure.
I think it would be kind of nice to pull,
That's
3 to
fine too.
5
If
things
you want to
off.
tell us these are the most, the way that we develop the goals, the dialogue at the time was these are all important to us, and there's not necessarily one that's more important than the other. However, you are certainly in a position now with a limited amount of time to say, well, all these are important, but we'd like this one completed first.
And then typically, being this is my first year, it doesn't take a year, does it, typically, to get goals and tactics?
Well, sometimes you'd be surprised. Some
really?
councils can never decide on goals and tactics because they can't agree on them.
Okay.
So
We're, I guess, ahead of the game.
yeah, you're actually doing very well. And the other thing that you see with a lot of councils is they develop like 50 goals.
Yeah.
Right.
What?
Yeah.
Great. You're not going to ever finish that.
Exactly.
So you guys are actually doing a pretty good job, and I think you're going to see in our next status report, you are making progress. But if you would like to, and it could be tonight, it could be at that status update, you want to tell us, hey, focus on this and this.
Let me propose, I love what you're asking. So what about this? What if we literally took 5 minutes and you said, okay, pick your top 5, if only 5 could be done. I'm throwing out that number.
Okay, yeah, go.
And what if there was overlap? That would be a lot of clear direction. Or you could say, I love that you guys want to have the microgrid, but it's not going to get done this year or whatever. You can at least say we researched it.
It's all fine.
Okay.
We're
Cool.
happy to do whatever you guys want to do.
What do you
I
guys
have
think of
mine
that?
at 5, so if you guys
Oh,
think.
I need to do the work.
This is my, yeah,
Are you
go
okay
ahead.
with that? We take 5 minutes?
I have 6.
I'm fine with 6. 6 is good. Okay, well, hold on. Give us, Ms. Mara, will you give us 5 minutes on the clock?
Are we supposed to be also a criteria being something that could be done by the end of the
I
year?
would thank you. This is very helpful.
That's
So,
good.
yeah.
That's
You know,
good.
do we want
Being
something that we-
realistic,
that
so-
we think could
Right,
be
that's-
done by the end of the year.
Right. So
like-
the
That was my
microgrid
thought.
might not be.
Right.
It's a
something-
cool
Well,
idea. I
Well,
love
see,
it.
but it says research microgrid.
We,
so
we
you
could
gotta be
research it.
careful.
We could do that.
Yeah. But I like what you're saying.
And
So
then-
something that could be pulled off.
Yeah.
Would be nice.
Right, I mean, a research,
We could research it.
yeah, we can research
Mhm.
it, but
We can't implement it.
it doesn't, right, it doesn't really.
Well, I think all of these things
Yeah.
could at least be forwarded. Right?
It's great. If you guys want to do that, I think that's
Yeah, let's,
super
well,
helpful.
we got it.
And I have one other question
Yeah.
that's related to this, and that is that if everything goes according to plan, in July, we're budgeting
Mhm.
for the next year's budget.
Mhm.
So there's going to be that overlap,
Yep.
and
You're right.
so we would potentially be budgeting for things that may not happen
Yep.
for
Mm-hmm.
within the next 8 months.
It's possible. We're going to budget based upon your direction. And so I'm going to recommend that you budget as if these goals are all
Mm-hmm.
moving forward, because this is your spending plan. This is what your aside from the
Mhm.
day-to-day and the operations, of course, these are the items that you want to see moving forward. So a future
Mhm.
council, depending if there is a different
Right.
composition, could come in, and say, you know what, I know that you put this in the budget, but
Mm-hmm.
I know, that's, yeah.
Of course, that's true. But procedurally, let me ask if there's anybody online that would like to give a public comment before we go into this exercise.
No, Mayor, there is not.
Okay, and I have no cards. Okay.
I do have a procedural issue just
Yes.
generally. So we have seen things come on the agenda that's not here. And I'm wondering, how that procedure actually works. So every time we put something on, it is a zero-sum game. There's something that is not going to go on. So I'm trying to figure out the logistics of how that actually works.
it's a real struggle. I would agree. Ideally, if we didn't have anything else going on, this would be our roadmap, and this would be all that we would be putting on the agenda. I'm a realist, though, and I know that there are things that come up that we need to address. So
Right.
it's a little bit of a dance. But you know, so we try not to put items on the agenda, and you'll see that we've changed our format now. So after each subject, it's going to say either city council direction, meaning that 2 members have asked for it, or the council made that direction, or if there's a 2-member request or a mayoral request, or if it's operational, you know, those are the only 3 categories we're trying to go with. And then to further, I'm losing the word. We have a city council goals and alignment section. So even though necessarily an item might not be a tactic, but at least it hopefully fits into something that's advancing one of your goals. So that's what we're trying to do.
Just to add to the question, we have a working agenda that we
Yes.
look at. There's a parking lot of items. You have
Yes.
asked us to look at those,
Yes.
omit things that you're not interested in, or
Yes.
forward. So that's part of what you're asking. it
Yeah,
seems to
so
me.
we'll bring those back. Also, really, the question that comes to mind is, as I start to sort of focus more in on these tactics, it occurs to me that they narrow down. It's like, oh, this is what I would like to do specifically in this tactic, which tends to be fairly general. But I now have something specific that would fit in here that would become an agenda item. But how do I then map it back really to this, which is it fits under one of the tactics that isn't well defined but needs specificity?
I would agree with that approach.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right now it's coming, if I understand, I appreciate what you're saying. Right now it's coming the other direction slightly, meaning we came up with 3 or 4, right? It's here in front of us. We're waiting for the research piece on some of the items. So I guess to support what you're saying is, if you have a more specific idea on something, I would suggest forwarding it on, so then it could be included in the conversation, because we'd want to see if there's support for.
In general, if I could just,
go.
This is an important part. I mean, if we're getting that type of granularity that correlates with the tactic, I don't feel the need to say, well, who's requesting this, or who's, because as a body, you've already said, yeah, this is a tactic that we want to do. Does that make sense?
Some things have bubbled up for me that
Yes.
are specific, that fit under the larger
Yeah.
umbrella
If it's-
concept.
If it's advancing a tactic, this body has said, yeah, that's what we want to do to
Okay.
advance this
The
goal.
devil's going to be in the details, though, because what might make perfect sense, I'm not talking about you specifically, what might make sense to someone as the right tactic may not be what other people were thinking.
So,
Yeah.
so the check on this is going to be this working agenda document
Yeah.
that you all can see. And I get questions from all of you, like,
Sure.
what the heck is this item?
That's
Well,
right.
it's this.
Or maybe, I don't know, maybe it needs
Yeah.
some sort of approval to, I don't know.
There may be some instances where we
Yeah,
may,
the
right.
less sort of, you
Yes.
know,
These are good questions.
obstacles that we put in here.
Mm-hmm.
But if we are going to use this as the master document, let's use it as the master document
I
if we
agree.
can, when we can.
I agree.
All right, let's take 5 minutes and then pick 6. Pick 6, okay.
If we have proposals for eliminating one, can we also?
Oh, that's
bring that up?
interesting. Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Well, here's a suggestion. If you pick
Yep.
6, maybe that we could end up with 5.
You're
Because-
saying
because there will-
6 yes and 1
So
no?
you gotta have at least 3 people.
That's right, that's
saying,
right.
Yeah, that's true.
That's one of mine.
That's what I'm
so,
saying.
So the list is probably gonna get shorter than.
So if you start with 6, you'll end up with 4 or 5 probably.
Yeah. Okay, all right. Well, yes, okay. But just so we can clarify what we're talking about. Sorry, I know we keep saying we're not eliminating things right now. What we're
No.
saying is, if I understood correctly, we're saying if I can pick 6 that could get done, we're giving the direction to staff that they will then
These are
take
the
it.
most important.
Okay.
So really, just to beat it to absolute death
Understood.
here,
All right.
it's the actual goal and the tactic number,
Yeah.
right? So this
That's
goal,
it.
this tactic number,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So it's not the
Cool.
whole goal or whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
Did she? Oh, letting you know if.
Do we ignore things that are already on the working agenda or that are like agendized for today?
I was thinking, I wouldn't waste my vote on something that
Don't
we
waste
know
your
we're-
vote.
We're getting.
It's a given.
already.
It's a gimme or whatever we called it last time. Yes. Another good point.
Yeah. Oh, God.
It's only 35 seconds left for them to make the final. So, that's what
The guy, I think Ken
Jeopardy?
Jennings. Didn't
yeah, Jennings.
Ken Jennings, the guy who won. I don't know. I don't watch it.
Okay, 10 seconds, guys. 10 seconds. Oh, man. All right, guys. Whew.
So we're not prepared to edit this document to PDF, but Norma
Yep.
has very
Okay.
graciously agreed to
Yep.
jump in and help
Ready
us
to go.
with this. So thank you.
Anybody want to be the brave person and start?
I will.
Okay, go for it.
I'm thinking, looking into the sheriff's contract.
Okay.
Can you give us, council member, the number, oh, excuse me, Mayor Pro Tem?
It's
and the-
8-1. That's 8-1.
Because that, I think there's a lot of work that's been done in the past, and it's just like going through it, so I think that could be,
You don't have to explain yourself.
okay, let me see, roads, paving schedules. with
Give
the
us that
roads.
number.
Let me see, where is it? 4.4.
Thank you.
Okay.
Updating our website, which is communication, 9.2.
Okay.
Let me see, city fee schedules.
6.2.
Nice, nice.
Wow.
Okay.
And I didn't think this was on here. I know it's on one of the potential agenda items, is the contractors versus employee, the pricing for that.
We do already have that under a future
Okay,
agenda item.
so I don't take,
Mm-hmm.
so then
Yes.
those are mine.
Yes, and I think that's in March or April, we have that on the working agenda. Did I see that? No, not yet. Okay, but we will. Yes.
I only counted 4.
You see city
One,
fee schedules,
two.
downtown crosswalks. I
Oh.
didn't think I said that one.
So it's not on there.
So this is what I.
But it was something that we've discussed many times.
Well, and actually, that's going to be, I'm going to give you that as a gimme because
Oh,
we're
okay,
actually
perfect.
talking to Caltrans about that right now,
Right.
trying to
It's
secure
in
an
process.
encroachment permit so we can do that.
Great, perfect.
Yep.
So
We can implement
get
it.
options on what we can do to
Yep.
Perfect.
Yeah. Well,
Great.
and also.
my
we-
list has gone down.
Oh yeah! All right. Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Thank you. Great.
So I'll
Yep.
add mine.
Go ahead.
I also put reviewing the sheriff contract.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see us accelerate the paving schedule.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, thank you.
Councilmember, do you mind giving me that number?
Yeah, that's so 8.1
Yep.
for fiscal review of the sheriff's contract.
Yep.
4.4 is accelerate the paving schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
9.2, update the city website. 6.2, update our city fee schedule. And then the two other things I had here are, I guess, freebies, which are the improve crosswalk safety downtown and get a report on the contractor versus employee savings.
Great. Okay. Go ahead, please.
Okay. All right. So I have also the 6.1 evaluate, or 8.1, I'm sorry, evaluate sheriff's contract.
Okay.
And I also have 9.2, the website.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Then I have 6.2, explore other potential revenue sources. I have 6.3, investigate incubator business investments. And 2.2, which is the warning systems for the fire and VC alert. And 3.3. And I want to propose eliminating 3.2, which is the vinyl wrap for the mural.
Yeah, the vinyl.
Because these doors, I don't think a mural is going to look good on these doors.
Sounds good.
And I think this needs to be reimagined with a designer. Yeah.
That's kind of the word we got to, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
So when we say eliminate, or do you want to update?
Actually, we could update it with.
Yeah, you don't have to throw this away. You guys all like this one. You could just
investigate,
explore options.
Explore options for.
Yeah.
For whatever's behind us.
Behind dais.
For something other than these doors.
Reimagine.
Reimagine.
Please help me out here.
Okay, so explore options for.
Thank you.
Explore design options for the area behind the dais.
Our city council chamber.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
That's better.
Love it. Thank you. Great. You want to go, and then I'll go, or either way? Okay.
So my first one is 1.3, which is explore creation of a housing commission.
Okay.
2.1, wildfire safety and risk mitigation. 2.2, wildfire safety and risk mitigation, feasibility of local warning systems. 3.1, extend bike path to Seoul. 7.1, habitat restoration and rewilding. And 8.3. Secure public facing interactive budget software.
Yeah. Okay. Nope. Good.
Thank you.
There's going to be some great overlap and then also difference. So I have 1.2. Well, sorry. No, I meant to say. Let's see. Hold on one second. Oh no, sorry. I meant to say 1.3. 1.3 there. So there's that overlap, and then 2.2. So there's 3 on that one, and then also 3.1. That's the bike path, and then 3.3, the Ojai cultural contribution from the TOT. Also 4.4, advancing the road paving. So that's a lot of overlap there, and then it's very close to 6.2. I had 6.3, but it could easily be a 6.2. They have some revenue overlap, but the incubator motion, and then finally, nope, that's it.
Mayor, I'm sorry, were you landing on 6.2 or 6.3?
I know. Oh God, I want to be on the line.
Gotta pick one.
I'll do 6.2.
Okay.
I'll go along. So 6.2.
Okay.
So that's pretty good.
Right?
All right, so it looks like 2.2 is one where there are 3.
Correct.
It looks like 4.4. Looks like 6.2, 8.1, and 9.2. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Would you like to go with that, or would you like to expand that?
So there's a bunch tied for the way you have 2 votes.
Yes. So what we've done is, it takes a vote of 3 with the council usually, but this is your own list, so.
So
you
that's
could-
5,
You could
right?
create a tier 1 and a tier 2 if you wanted to.
Which ones have 2 votes?
There are a few.
There's
So
one is affordable.
1.3, yeah,
Yeah,
3.1, 3.3. I think those are, if you like.
So on 3.1, that's the extending the bike path. My understanding is that there was a pretty comprehensive report done on that about 15 years ago.
I heard something similar.
I heard questions about the comprehensiveness about it, that it was exploratory, but I could be wrong about that.
Well, what I recall, at least what I was told, is that the cost of putting a bridge over San Antonio Creek was a multi-million-dollar proposition. And so the county, I think, who was part of that, decided, then they were, actually the state was looking at putting a bridge over San Antonio Creek at the
highway,
the current bridge, and they decided that was cost prohibitive, and they ended up putting a bike lane on the San Antonio Bridge when they refurbished the bridge. So there's a whole bunch of material that I think could be looked at in terms of.
I think the verb should probably be, instead of extend, it would be research, I guess.
I think there's a few ways you can do this, because
There's,
you
you don't have to go over San Antonio.
people hate hearing this, but I'm going to throw this out there. Just don't kill me, okay? But I lived in Monterey County for a long time, and there are a number of golf courses that are right along the beach. And because of the Coastal Act, you have to provide coastal access. And so there are trails that run right through some of the most expensive golf courses in the world. And you can walk your dog on them, you can run on them. And I was on them all the time. I never once had an issue with being hit by a golf ball or causing an interruption to somebody's play. It just is, it's a thing. So you can do it. There are other ways to do it.
So what you're suggesting is that we can look at working with the county and Soul Park about the idea of taking a bike path
something
to that.
And we might
trying to
decide it's too
remember
much.
Its whole number.
We could totally
Because
decide.
aren't you in communication with the county of taking over the bike?
They very much would like
So
to.
could that be a negotiation?
Well, I've told them that the council has established this as a goal and a tactic, and so it's kind of a bigger conversation. So I would love to work on this. I would love to, and if you want, you can give us, top priority, second priority. That's fine. Or if you wanted to throw this in there, this would be a fun one for me.
Well, I think it's one to look at.
Yeah.
To look at
Well,
now.
I think
throw it in.
you've got 5 tops. You might say 3 people, and then you have a couple that are 2s, and you can say those are our second tiered.
Okay. Well, so if that's okay, then we'll establish a first tier and a second tier.
Yeah.
But with that said, also everything is still moving forward. If we're able to advance one that's not because it's just something that we're able to do, obviously we're going to do it. We're not just going to not do it.
For sure.
So, okay. All right,
Does that
so
seem good?
seems great to me.
Wonderful.
So we will figure out a way to demarc this so that it makes sense. We're going to update the description on the mural item as well as the notes. And yeah, any other questions? No. Thank you all. Very
That's
helpful.
really great. Wonderful. Fun. It's so great to see this. And it's fun to see it on the website. Okay, as we agreed, we are now going to talk about, we're looking at number 11, the community pool options.
Yes, Mayor, and I'm going to briefly ask the chief to surrender his seat so that I can bring up Ms. Rivera and Ms. Holman to join me
Oh,
for
yeah.
this item. Thank you,
Okay.
Chief. I do appreciate that. Let's wait for them to get settled. Oh, thank you, Bridget. Ms. Mara, excuse me. Okay, great. So this will be a little bit of a collaborative item this evening. So this is our 90-day check-in following our last discussion about the community pool, which was back in November. And we're providing you with a status update on council direction that was given at that time. And there are kind of three or four main things to go with here. One is you asked us to come back and tell you what it would look like if we were to establish a city-run aquatics program at the Nordoff Pool in the times that it is available. So Ms. Rivera has done that. She's, with the help of Ms. Holman, she's looked at other agencies in the region and the costs, with the available times, and roughly, if I'm going to get the number right, it's a $50,000 amount, roughly. 57, right?
Mhm.
Okay, $60,000 in order to do that. That would require the city to recruit, train, hire these employees. Of course, we would have a supervisor. There would be a slight offset with fees. Likely wouldn't cover obviously the whole amount because you're trying to provide a service to the community, but there would be an offset, and we would, if you gave us direction to proceed, we would come back with additional details on this, recommendations for fees and so on and so forth. But again, if the council gave us direction, we think that by the summertime, maybe a bit sooner, but probably by the summertime, we could have open swim and lap swim on those days that the school is not using the pool, which is largely the weekends and the breaks. Ms. Rivera, do you want to expound on that a little bit?
Yeah, so the estimate that we have included is for Sunday swim. So that would be Sunday open swim, Sunday lap swim. If you wanted to add on Saturday, it would be double.
Okay. So any questions about that so far?
And
Okay.
just 4.5 hour increment of time, just
Correct.
to clarify that. Okay.
And so the school will not be using the pools on Saturday or Sunday?
Correct. Unless
No
they
water
have-
polo, no swim
unless
meets?
They
no-
might, and then we would work together with that
Okay,
calendar.
okay.
At this point, we
So
don't
it's
know.
those Saturdays and Sundays that are free,
Correct.
not every Saturday and Sunday. We
Right.
don't know. We don't have their schedule yet. Okay, thank
Right.
you.
Okay, so I'm going to kind of jump around a little bit because it's related, but it's not exactly in the order the direction was given. The YMCA came back after our discussion was over, went to the school district and said, hey, we're still interested in providing swim lessons. If you are, here's a proposal for us to do that. I believe it's 1 day a week.
Saturdays.
Thank you. And so this came through the school district. We are bringing it before you. School district forwarded it to us because they said they don't have the funding to pay for that, but they thought that you might want to consider that as part of your community aquatics program. So that's another component you could add on. So now your cost is closer to the $100,000 range. It might be some of the same people that work for the Y that could work for the city. There could be some synergy there, likely would be. So that's another option to consider. Okay. Let's just keep
Yep,
walking
keep
through.
going.
Another thing that you said, and I got corrected, so I'm going to apologize to those of you that I gave a slightly inaccurate update earlier today. You directed us to reach out to Lane 4 so that we could get a proposal. We got a proposal so that we could enter into an agreement so that they could put together some type of framework for a community-run aquatics program at the Nordoff Pool. We have started the process. We received a proposal. We're in the final stages of finalizing the professional services agreement, but it has not yet been executed because we're still going back and forth a little bit on language, but it's very close.
Okay.
So that's in motion.
Can I go back on
Sure.
that? Just because my recollection was that there was a menu of things that Lane 4 might be able to do for us. One of them was to look at other multi-agency programs
Right.
and how they were being operated and which ones were operating efficiently or effectively,
Mhm.
and to give us a report on that information. And it was I recall it being a not to exceed $10,000.
Correct.
That's right. That's right.
Agreement that,
Correct.
And that's what our professional
That- okay.
services agreement is.
Mm-hmm.
And just for reference, we included the proposal
Mhm.
that they provided with this agenda report. So this is the attachment A to the professional services agreement, which we hope to have executed very shortly and get them underway.
okay?
Just a question on the timing. So what's interesting to me is that if the timing were more like mid-spring, then it seems to me it makes sense to say, oh, we're doing this on Saturday and Sunday potentially if the council wants to do that. If we talk about it being available in the summer when school's not in session anyway,
Mm-hmm.
then it seems like it's a different conversation to have then. So I guess so for example, if we said we're looking at mid-spring reasonably, if that's the case,
Mhm.
we're going to try this out and see if there's public interest for that. As we lean into the summer, we would be coming back with possibly another kind of conversation. Does that seem like a reasonable thing to?
We could do that as well. I
Okay.
do have 12 weeks of vacation included in this first year proposal.
Oh,
So that would be 6 days a week.
that's counted in that 57?
Well, it's on page.
No, I saw that it's there, but the money is attached to the Sundays.
So the 28,000 is
Mhm.
for the 52 Sundays. That's
Right.
a typo, 56.
Right.
And then 28,000 for the 12 weeks of school vacation.
Oh,
That's
sorry.
just an estimate. So
Nope,
that would be
thanks for
summer,
clarifying. So, okay, got it. So
Okay,
Mhm.
I
that's
didn't
for
catch
all.
Oh,
that.
I didn't.
Yeah.
So
No, that's really
57
good.
oh,
So
Yeah.
it's 50, thank you. Sorry for not
Right.
seeing that.
So it's on page 142
I
under
got that.
administrative overhead,
No, I
first
just-
year total anticipated cost.
Thank you so
Mhm.
much. So the 57, it also includes basically summer 5 days a week? How many days a week?
6.
6 days
So
a week.
I left the Saturday open just in case you did want to do the
Understood.
YMCA as well.
So that's, I could tell why I didn't get that because I don't see that date that listed unless I missed it. But anyway, okay, got it.
Mhm.
That changes it for me. Wow, that's
Yeah.
interesting.
You know, council, you also can change up, the number of days,
Days, times,
if you
For sure.
whatever.
wanted to only do 1 day a week or whatever, we
Mhm.
Yeah.
can,
and summer would still be the 4.5 hours per day?
Yeah.
At this dollar
And-
amount.
but
yeah.
that could be changed. If
It
you
could be
directed us
changed.
that you want to do
Because I
8
know
hours.
I don't know when, but summertime, with water polo and all
Mhm.
that, they go back. But I guess they probably go
Yeah.
early, so maybe it wouldn't
And
be an issue.
They might. We have to adjust the times probably, and who
We
knows
talked
if they
about
go to
this.
CIF and things like that.
And
so.
then would the school put any fees on us for doing our thing? I just think of Soul Park with the pickleball. We invested a lot of money and we pay to use it each month. So I don't know, was that talked about? Would there be any? fees
We
for
have
them to-
discussed this, and we would really hope that would not be the case, but we first wanted to get some direction from you, and you could put that as part of your direction.
Mhm.
That if there was some extra fees they're charging, 'cause
Yeah.
Right.
I'm of the opinion we're actually, it's very congenial what we're working on
Absolutely.
here, so I would push back on that.
Right.
You told me this, but for clarification, right now with the number of lifeguards there, that would be if you had a pretty full use, and we would just evaluate that as time went on.
Yes.
So if you thought, oh, there's light use, then you
Mhm.
may only have 2 lifeguards there, and that would be sufficient.
Correct.
So then the cost would go down.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if we decide to go forward and then we start talking about fees, so if we're collecting, let's say, a $5 per swim fee for anybody coming in to swim laps, or would that go to offset our costs?
Yes.
Yes.
We would retain all the revenue. The school
Yes.
district isn't asking for a percentage of that.
No.
That's
or-
what we're proposing, but again,
Mhm.
we would like that as part of the direction.
But the Y is handling their own costs with their own registration, just for clarification.
for the
Lessons.
On the
swimming
Saturdays,
lessons.
their lessons,
Yeah.
yeah.
Their programming.
Yeah,
What-
I'm kind of surprised to see a 1 day a week lesson, because what I've traditionally seen is either a 1 week, it's like almost like summer camp,
Yeah.
or 2 weeks, straight through, and then you're done.
It's a 6-week session, so it would be 6 Saturdays, but usually
now.
it is in a row.
But it might tell me
Yeah.
if I'm right here. It seems to me this is preliminary with a lot of flexibility and a lot of decision opportunities.
Yes.
That's how I'm seeing this proposal. So tell me if the spirit of it is, let's sort of open as quickly as we can. We're not committing to much, and we can evaluate it as time goes on.
Yes.
Totally
Okay.
agree
And
with
the
that.
school maintains it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
They've said that clearly.
Yeah.
They
That's what I
handle all
thought.
the
I just wanted
maintenance
to make
costs
sure.
and all of that.
Is there,
And
is
then
it,
So what for the summertime, the 12 weeks, what are the hours that it would operate?
Right now, if we're gonna keep with the 4.5, it would be 4 hours of open swim. So it could be, depending on whatever the temperature is gonna be, we could do 8 to 12, we could do 10 to 2.
But we could
Whatever.
expand that too if you wanted
And we
to
could
have more. I'm
expand
sure
that
we
for
could do
summer.
And we could also do like an evening lap swim only.
Yeah,
If we wanted to.
yeah.
Any of those options.
Mhm.
Well, that's what I kind of like about this idea about when you build up your staff reserves here with, I presume, local people, then if there's more opportunity because there's more interest, then we can expand that and give them more hours.
Yeah.
So you were going to say.
oh, I was just gonna ask, is the pool going to be heated for the times of the year when it's not hot outside, or?
Good
Or
question.
plunge.
I'm not sure about that,
Yeah, don't
but
know.
I can find out.
Okay.
I know it is heated to a degree,
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
but
And then I just have a question. It's more curiosity. So, Ojai, we're a small town with how many people? And being Nordoff Pool encumbers the Ojai Valley. Like, how many people are we talking about outside of the
So
city?
you could charge, just like we do with recreation programs, a resident and a non-resident fee if you like, or you could just have it be one amount. It's totally up to you. We don't really know. This is, we haven't done a survey to say who's interested, do you want to do this or not? So it will be a little bit of a work in progress, but mostly we were trying to bring this back to you sooner than later so that we could
Right.
get this operational.
The way I think about what you're proposing is something like, not real numbers, but hypothetical. You charge $5 to get in, but our cost is 10, hypothetically. So you're paying for city residents and valley residents in each one of those things. So
I was just curious
yeah.
at the number of people. Like,
Yeah.
if we have, 5,000 people and the
Yeah.
rest is it 20,
We'd want to come back to you after like a month and say, here's what we're seeing so far.
Yeah.
And obviously it's going to change as the weather
That's nice.
changes
Sure.
too, but we
Yeah.
would want you to know because it would be great. I would love to have the problem with, oh my gosh, we need to really expand this.
That would
This
be
is a
incredible.
home run.
I think the issue that you're talking about, Councilmember Mang, becomes a little more complicated because I know that there are school board members who want there to be a, potential discount for low income
well, that's
folks.
true, absolutely.
And so I would see us doing that for city residents. The question is, if they're not city residents, do they get a discount? And, I'd want to look at the county or the school district to do that part
That
for,
seems
for
reasonable.
non-residents.
Or if
And
they're
family.
interested in that kind of a program, I would say, let's get in a conversation then.
Right.
That makes perfect sense to me.
And the school district, is wider than Ojai. So
Right.
if they're providing a free usage, then they have some discussion. It's fair to have the discussion. If they're providing that, then they would want, all of their region, the unified school district area to have certain, possibly that might be, a conversation they would want to have. And I think that's just yet another conversation to have.
Cool. All right. Well, I have a few comment cards here, and then we'll go online. But Larry Steingold, please. Bill Miley, and then Bob Ward, please.
Good evening.
Hi.
Great start. It's a wonderful cookie to give to the public. All right, with this OUSD and the city handling, the swim would be great. If you could have an automatic extension on the same terms and conditions that you negotiate with the pool, with OUSD, then you could just expand hours at our whim based on demand. Fees are not going to be sustainable because if you expand beyond the 56, I think it's 58,000 a year, and you go to 110, we're on the hook for another 50 and another 50, and it keeps going. Eventually, we're going to be at a park and rec district tax thing. What do you call parcel tax? So I think they should just plan and put it on the ballot now for 2028 or something. because otherwise the pool's gonna be unsustainable. We can't afford it. We can't afford to carry the rest of the district, and obviously the school doesn't wanna do it. And it's gonna cost $500,000 to $1 million a year to support it. And if you want heat, for the pool, they have no way to tell you how much heat's coming through, because they didn't sub-meter the pool or the electricity. And it's a good idea. This is nice. So, thank you very much. Should it have gone to the Park and Rec Commission, just out of curiosity?
There was a 2-and-2 committee, so this is part of reflecting some of that.
I know, but still, you would.
It has
It has been
to the Parks and Rec.
Not in this
Commission.
in this proposal.
Not in this format.
I know it's ad hoc,
Okay.
but I mean, if you're going to have a Park and Rec Commission, use it. If you're not going to have it, get rid of it and
Thank
just
you.
take over the.
Appreciate it.
Anyway, so
Okay.
being-
No, thank you. I appreciate that. Bill Miley, please, and then Bob Ward. Hello.
Hello. There are several very interesting proposals here. The City Park and Recreation Department's proposal for Sunday and summer program is very worthy. There's an exception, though, which would be the weekday non-student times, which would seem doable maybe, and there's no offered swim lessons. The school district proposal for waiving the use fees for the Nordhoff Pool for city programs is hugely worthy. It, to me, is the key element here that makes it possible for the city to offer pool management, waiving the use fees. That's huge. The unanticipated proposal by the Channel Islands Y for Saturday pool programming is a surprise and welcoming. I'm not sure it worked during the summer, though. The Lane 4 contract offered in November may not be needed at this point in time. Its goals were and are to determine feasibility of creating a nonprofit to run this. Likely, it should be maybe held in abeyance or done to find out what other successful programs are doing. With learning to swim, a key life-sustaining skill, it would seem best to have the city recreation program including learn to swim classes. Very important. The new Ojai Community Fuel Foundation, which I'm a member of, has visualized many additional water activities and standardized activities which eventually should be considered. I would suggest you consider using some of the $1 million coming from TOT funds to help fund this very healthy program for this community. It keeps putting up with tourists, mucking up our streets on Sunday and Saturday and Friday. Anyway, I would, in summary, implementing this would get close to the original Measure K bond approval that this community gave the school district to create a community and school aquatic center.
Thank you, Mr. Miley. Bob Ward, please. Hello.
Yeah.
Hi.
Thanks for hearing me.
Yeah.
I agree with some of what Bill was saying. You know, I feel like we've gone ahead too fast almost on this. And I know summer's coming and it's going to get hot and people thank you. people want the pool open. I get it, but the OUSD's poor planning is not your emergency, right? And it's like there's such an opportunity here. I think that the proposal is great, Christy, you know, and it's like, again, I'm so excited to see us moving on this. But it's like lane 4, I think they have a lot of comparables. They're experts in this area, and we really could benefit from seeing what they produce and then develop a program that could include weekday evenings. It could include multiple days in a row of swim lessons. Yeah, you can't just go every Saturday, that kind of thing, right? And what about like feeder programs for the high school athletic teams? Water polo and swimming. You need time in the evenings on weekdays. I mean, it's going to be staying light till 8 o'clock soon. And it's like that pool's sitting empty most of the time. It's frustrating, you know, and I know we're excited to get going forward with this. But again, I just feel like, you know, there's tons of ways to do this. And again, I'm really thankful that the city is interested in financially and otherwise supporting this and with staff and everything like that. It's just, how do we put together something that really could create the kind of aquatic community that we would all benefit from here, and not just athletics, because I'm a lifelong swimmer, but I mean lessons, just community access on hot summer days for less, you know, financially privileged folks and everything like that. And anyhow, I think that, you know, the why part of it, I don't know where that came in through, but it doesn't really make sense to me. And I think, again, a group like ours, both Bill as well as Larry, are, you know, we're part of the same pool group. We'd be glad to volunteer. If there's some other group that could work with you guys, I'd volunteer to be part of that too. So thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Mara, anybody online?
No, Mayor, there is not.
All right. My first reaction is that I would not personally stop the lane for the reasons that Mr. Ward just said, which is developing the program in the bigger sense. It seems like still what we're interested in. At the same time, I would not wait for the program to be developed to open it in a non-committed way. So my first reaction is I would proceed, and I would proceed with the opening as soon as we could do it in a non-committal way, and I would also work on the longer term plan personally, but open to ideas.
Yes. I see this as something that we should do as a temporary fix. We need long-term planning on. I agree with Mr. Stein goal that we're going to have a problem sustaining the financial support for a valley-wide program. And you know, I think that we should be at least exploring the possibility of a valley-wide parks and recreation district. It would solve a lot of problems across not just the swimming issue, but recreation and parks. I do want to acknowledge that and push back a little bit on the idea that the school district expected us, the city or the community, to come up with a, you know, financial support for having a swimming program. I didn't see that I read looking for somewhere where the word community pool was being modified, but and there's part of me that says, you know, that's their problem, it's not ours. But the community has been so anxious to have a community pool for many decades, and we're as close as we've ever been to doing it. So I want to get people in the pool. So I'm gonna support this financially so we can get people in the pool. But I want to recommend that we word whatever we do with the idea that this is a one summer project that we're looking at, and we're looking for a better long-term solution.
Please.
So I align with with your perspective, Councilmember Whitman. And I think what many of us here are saying is that we want a partnership with OUSD. I think this is going to be valuable to the community, to the many people who have expressed a desire for us to have a community pool. I have to say, when I first read the proposal, I thought it was Sundays only all year long, and I was actually pleasantly surprised. I was really pleased to see that it's 6 days during the summer vacation. I also agree with Mr. Ward that we do need a more comprehensive plan moving forward. And if we think about moving forward with this as a pilot to assess what works, what doesn't work for the school district, for us, then I think we could come back next year with something that is more carefully constructed. So I'm in support of moving forward with this.
Ms. Rivera, can I ask, the temporary nature that you've just heard, does that seem, you're cool with that? That's okay, we're gonna reevaluate?
That's what I was hoping
Okay,
for.
oh, good,
Yeah.
oh, great,
Pilot,
wonderful.
yeah.
Love it. Any other thoughts?
A one-year experiment.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's fantastic.
And then, but also working throughout that time on how do we do this sustainably for the long term?
Right.
Yeah.
And if we are looking at the long term, I also would love to see how we can provide scholarships for low-income Ojai residents, and part of the ongoing investigation would be looking at city versus not city, and how do we work that out in terms of fee structures.
And we do have that program already at the Recreation Department. We do have scholarship applications and things like that already in place, so it would be very easy.
And we also have different fee schedules for Ojai residents and Valley residents, do we not?
Yeah.
The only other thing I would say is that I'm assuming that the Unified School District has not seen this. They've not given up 7 weeks in summer, and they haven't given up Sundays, and they might give up Saturdays. In other words, this is our proposal to them, but they still have to look at it and say, we don't, yes or no, basically.
Correct. And we'll look at the schedule for water polo and PE programs or whatever else.
However, the rough framework was developed in conjunction with them.
With
So this
Kevin,
was definitely like, this is what they said was possible.
Okay.
They did provide.
So, yeah,
Okay.
it will need some fine tuning, but this rough
Okay,
amount is what.
so they've seen this
Yes.
before. Okay,
Yes.
that's great. And then the other thing is, I would say, get as much time as you can. Summer's going to be hot.
It's going to be hot.
It's going to be hot,
It's gonna be really hot.
and some people can't make it on a Sunday or, whatever. So as flexible as we can provide the pool for, the community, the better it is, really, I suppose.
Yep.
So I'm starting to think that we're kind of doing a concept review, because we have to go through another phase where we start talking about specifics.
Yeah, I was just I've splashed down at least 4 things that we're gonna have to do. So let me just run through them. You need a salary schedule modification. Ms. Holman has been very helpful in coming up with the numbers, but you still have to update your salary schedule. We need a fee schedule update. We don't have fees for pool on that are current. We need a scholarship program update, and we need schedule details and an agreement. Thank you. That's what our attorney says. And you need an agreement. Yes, you're absolutely right.
So if you
and
left today-
I'd
Go ahead.
also I'd also like to add to that, talking to the county, talking to the school district about a sponsorship program, and anybody else, any other funding source there is,
Sure.
for a scholarship program for non-Ojai residents, and I assume that the city's scholarship program will.
So I would just
be in
suggest,
place.
one of the items I mentioned was a scholarship program update. Why don't I just modify that to include, Ojai Valley or Ventura County, however we want to say it.
So with that suggestion, then, would we, if you what I'm hearing is you've got the support, we will vote on that, but then you would come back with those details for one more, or would you
Yes.
proceed? Okay.
Yeah, we would have to come back to you
Good.
with all these
Perfect.
things so that you could because you alone have the ability
Understood.
to update the salary schedule and all these things.
But also include, I guess maybe we already have authorized lane 4?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
we have.
That
So
was
that,
passed.
that's already in place.
That's
We don't-
already
This
in
was just for
motion.
review.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna
Mhm.
be, that's gonna be coming back to you.
Yeah.
And the report is coming back.
Yeah, and I failed to mention, and I'm sorry, you also give direction on the splash pad, and what we're doing with the splash pad is we're gonna be launching the Serzodi, I always pronounce it wrong.
I say Zerzodi.
Serzodi.
Serzodi is.
Serzodi.
All right, sorry, I never know which one to say.
That's an Ojai pronunciation.
Sorry, man, I'm gonna get it one of these years. The survey, it's gonna be launching with the Ojai Outlook that comes out next month. It'll be open for a 30-day window. It'll also be available online, but we wanna, that's part of the survey. We wanna bring that back to you all. You can see the information, and then you can help us decide, does this go in this year's CIP, the next year's CIP, or maybe you decide you don't wanna do it. But that's coming too, because you gave us direction in that
Yeah,
area.
awesome. Well, I would move that we authorize staff to proceed with the items specified to come back for and you can list those things: salary schedule, sponsorship schedule for
Salary schedule
Yep.
modification, fee schedule update, scholarship program update, including Ojai Valley residents.
Thank you.
Schedule details, agreement with OUSD. Are you wanting or not wanting to move forward with the YMCA?
I was wanting to.
I didn't hear much discussion on
Okay,
that.
we
just
didn't talk about
curious.
that specifically. Well, but the reason
I'm
why
kind of
the reason-
50-50 on the idea.
I don't object to it because it's only 6 weeks to try it out. Am I right about that?
Well, so they could be up and running by possibly end of April. Their swimming lesson programs are 6 weeks at a time.
Right.
So depending on demand, depending on what they're getting, it would go, 6 weeks at a time.
Okay.
So I guess I would support that with the idea that Ojai would develop its own swim lesson program for the next year. Not. Does that make sense?
Well, it's interesting because like the rec department in the past had swim classes.
Right.
So that is something you're probably thinking about in the future.
Yeah.
But maybe
change it up.
too much to try to cram that in for a summer program.
For this summer.
And we can look at summer of 2027.
Yep.
As
I
or
think
even spring of 2027.
That's what I was imagining.
I agree with that.
So with that agreement though, are you agreeing that trying the Y out for this initial time sounds okay?
I think trying it out for this
Yeah.
initial time.
And what's the
So
cost going to be?
We would need to look at their proposal though, because I don't
Okay.
think
Yeah.
it's just for 6 weeks.
So
Okay.
yeah,
It's for
this one,
first year.
so there's a startup one-time fee of almost 4,500,
Okay.
and then the wages are it's a range between 10,000 and 20,000, and so the first year total is 14 is
For
between
the year.
15,000 and 25,000, but we would
Depending
probably
on
need
demand.
to find out what the demand is, and
Mm-hmm.
and then they're collecting all of the fees for that. So so the city is not recouping any of that money.
But it's less than our cost.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
for our staff.
I'd like to add to that we would, if we can, add a provision that if a Ojai resident is qualified to be an instructor, that they get first crack at that job. Is that
with YMCA?
yeah?
I don't know
I
that
mean-
we. That,
They
it's
They
asking
did,
them to
say
change
that that's their
their-
preference.
that-
They prefer to hire local, but we
Good.
could put that
We could
into
put that in.
the agreement, if
Okay.
feasible, local.
I'd
It's
like
gonna be
to
better
see
for
us
them
hire
anyway.
Of course.
Ojai
Yeah.
people whenever we
Well,
can.
naturally,
too.
we would
I
like
agree.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess the question about the why would be, developing our own program would be a little difficult at the moment, right? So
For
I'm hearing
lessons.
that. But even, I guess what you could say is we could have open swim with no classes Saturday and Sunday if we want to double the budget.
Correct.
Not quite double, but at least
Yeah.
50% of it.
Mm-hmm. Or we can do, swimming lessons with the YMCA at whatever hours they have, and then we can come in, 4 hours after that or before that with our open swim.
I see. I liked the variety that I was seeing, I guess, and also the ease of us easing into the situation.
We could start
At
with
the moment.
Sundays, see how it
That's
goes,
what I was
and then
imagining.
add in Saturdays if needed.
So I did like that.
you could also, we could come back with all these updates we have to do, and at that time you could set the size, if you want, of the program.
But eventually moving towards a rec department program or something like that with Ojai people.
I think that's all.
Yeah.
Open for us to.
Yeah.
Look at the next time around, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Totally.
So I'll make a motion.
Well, we had one, we started one, but we ended with the Ojai part.
Yeah, but
then
I
you
was
brought
making
up
the
Y.
motion, so that's wrong. So
No, I was making the motion. I said the thing, but with, you listed the items
Okay,
because I couldn't
okay.
remember them all, which
Okay.
is great. But then I would add also the YMCA. Are you cool with seconding that?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you.
And just for clarification, this is a 1-year pilot program that we are going with,
100%.
right? Okay,
Yep.
just making sure everybody's.
And we'll reevaluate. I'm sure we'll hear about it in the summer, see how it's going.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
adjust as needed.
Ms. Holman, Ms. Rivera, anything I forgot to do that we need to cover? No?
You're coming back with salary and all,
Yeah, all
those
that
5
stuff.
items.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool. Okay, roll call please, Ms. Mara.
Councilmember Lang.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Meng.
Yes.
Councilmember Rule.
Yes.
Councilmember Whitman.
Yes.
Mayor Gilman.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, cool. Great.
Thank you.
Right? Okay. We're going to have a pool. Okay, no, go ahead. We're going to move on to number 12. Letter of opposition to federal oil and gas leasing proposals affecting Los Padres National Forest and Central California public lands.
Mayor, I'm going to turn this over to Ms. Cervantes to give you an update on this. Thank you.
Thanks. Wonderful.
Mayor, Council, so before you here are 2 letters to consider for opposition to federal actions that could allow expanded oil and gas leasing and development in and around Los Padres National Forest and surrounding federal lands. These letters of opposition are to be sent to the USDA Forest Service and the Bureau of Land Management, and this will ensure that the city is proactively advocating for the protection of our community and surrounding national resources.
Thank you. Any questions so far? I'll go to, we have a couple of public comments here. I'll go to, it's Carla Mena, if I'm seeing that correctly, and Haley Elhers. Carla, please, if I'm getting that right. Thanks.
Short. Okay. Good evening,
Hello.
Mayor and council members. My name is Carla Mena. I am the Director of Policy and Legislative Affairs with Los Padres Forest Watch. We represent over 30,000 members, but more importantly, I'm a proud Ventura County resident. Forest Watch strongly supports the city's letters of opposition to the new federal oil and gas leasing in Los Padres National Forest and surrounding public lands, including the BLM draft EIS for the Bakersfield office. We applaud the city for its consistent leadership through resolutions 1927 in 2019, which protects the Ojai Valley, and the most recent January resolution opposing federal offshore public land leasing. So this push to reopen and expand drilling in California is a reckless Trump administration initiative through the Unleashing America Energy executive orders. It directly contradicts the overwhelming wishes of California residents who have supported our state's fracking phase-out, carbon neutrality goal of 2045, and strong protections for public health, clean water, wildlife, coastal communities. California has chosen a different path, and federal leasing ignores that clear mandate. We fully endorse your opposition to the proposed interim amendment for oil and gas leasing in Los Padres National Forest. The BLM proposal covers over 400,000 acres of public land, so it is very large, and it overlapping has conflicts with SB 1137, which is the health public zones, and it clashes with local authority strengthened by AB 3233. It fails to consider better alternatives, impacts, and conflicts with state protections for health, water, wildlife, and recent climate goals. New leasing locks in long-term emissions and undermines California's fossil fuel transition. Forest Watch stands strong with the partner that is the city, and we stand ready for any action that you may take. Thank you for protecting Ojai and our shared public land.
Thank you very much. Haley Elhers, please. Thank you.
Hello,
Hello.
my name is Haley Ehlers. I'm the executive director at Climate First Replacing Oil and Gas, or CFROG, a grassroots advocacy organization dedicated to a just transition away from fossil fuels to protect our health, economy, and climate right here in Ventura County. And we were started here in Ojai over 10 years ago. We strongly support the recommendation for the City of Ojai to submit letters of opposition to the federal oil and gas leasing proposals affecting Los Padres National Forest and hundreds of thousands of acres of Bureau of Land Management lands. As well illustrated in the staff report and drafted letters, new oil and gas drilling in Los Padres and other nearby public lands is a serious threat to public health, the environment, and critical habitat, and our climate progress. We have serious concerns with the draft environmental review recently released by BLM, or Bureau of Land Management. First, it is much too narrow and it is limited to fracking, despite California's fracking ban, and new information and changed circumstances on many environmental issues related to the planning and leasing areas. On that note, most of the relevant environmental review relies on information that is now 15 years old. So since then, right, in the last 15 years, lots of new data has emerged regarding the serious public health impacts of oil and gas drilling. The climate crisis has continued to accelerate to existential levels. Clean energy has reduced fossil fuel demand. And California has banned drilling within 3,200 feet of most sensitive receptors through SB 1137. And I would be remiss to not mention that Ojai has seen the impacts of oil and gas drilling with some of the highest ozone levels due to a variety of circumstances, but that not necessarily helping. And then, of course, the oil spill that happened in Cesar Creek just in November, impacting many residents in Upper Ojai and impacting the natural waterways that eventually flow down to the ocean through the Santa Clara River Valley, or the Santa Clara River. And all that to say, so important that you all are putting this forward. Back in 2024, the City Council heard from dozens of CFROG youth from across Ojai and Ventura County and passed a resolution calling for the full phase out of oil and gas drilling in Ventura County and for the full and swift implementation of safety setbacks across the state. So we're so grateful that the council is making good on that resolution and celebrate your leadership. We hope other elected bodies across Ventura County do the same and look forward to partnering. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Ms. Mara, anybody online?
No, Mayor, there's not.
Right. Does anybody object?
I'll make a motion.
Do it.
Let's go for it.
I do want to make a quick comment.
Okay.
Just to acknowledge CFROG and Forest Watch and the people who participate in those organizations and our speakers here tonight. I appreciate that there's somebody watching out for our environment and our planet.
For sure. All right.
Do we have a second?
Second. All right, roll call, please.
Councilmember Rule.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Meng.
Yes.
Mayor Gilman.
Yes.
Councilmember Whitman.
Yes.
Councilmember Lang.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, thank you. Yeah, good job, you guys.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Moving on to 13, upgrade to Microsoft 365 license from G3 to G5.
Thank you, Mayor. We're going to have Mr. Hahn join us for this
right.
report. Thank you, Mr. Hahn.
Hello. So,
Hi there.
the reason I'm here tonight is because our Microsoft license is expiring on the 24th of next month. So now's the perfect time to do the upgrade that was.
I have to say how excited I am that something, I just had this talk with Bethany, like, why do things come after the fact? So to be ahead of it, hats off to you, James.
So I thought now would be the perfect time to do the upgrade that Kroll was talking about in the report.
Right.
there are two classes of users. I'm only proposing to do the people that actually have access to our network, because that's who has the potential to have bad impacts. We do get some other benefits from it. Like I said in the report, is we get the phone service, which, so it's a almost $14,000 increase, but 4,000 of that will fall away next year because we don't have to buy phone licenses anymore. So, and we also get a bunch of other new tools for security, which is really great. Don't really want to talk about them in public, but there we are. So.
Yes, I'm looking at the fiscal impact.
Yeah, I'm actually not asking for any more money.
Right.
It's already what's
I see
been
that.
approved, and we're just asking for authority to spend it.
Yep. Well, anybody object?
I'll make a motion.
Well, let me see. See if there's any public comments online, please, Ms. Mara.
No, there's not.
Okay. Yep, I hear the motion. Let's hear it.
Yep, okay.
All right. Second. Let's do it. Ready for the roll call when you are. No worries. I know we're going so fast.
You were so quick on that one. Mayor Pro Tem Ming.
Yes.
Councilmember Lang.
Yes.
Councilmember Rule.
Yes.
Councilmember Whitman.
Yes.
Mayor Gilman.
Yes.
Motion
Thank you
passes.
so much.
All right,
Thanks. Okay, we have 8, 9, and 10 left. Does anybody need a quick break? All right, well, let's start then on number 8.
Okay, Mayor, well, I think I'm
Uh-huh.
actually going to throw this back over to you
Yep.
and Councilmember Lang, if you don't mind, because
Not at all.
you have done the work on this.
Yep. Do you want to start or do you want me to start? Just so what you're going to see, what you should see, when we met, we took your feedback, went back and to Trippi Smith, we looked on some options, and what hopefully you will notice is this is not exactly what you saw 2 weeks ago. And the reason is that when we talked about some options, they basically offered every single option you could think of, which was not what we intended. So we were actually happy that the item moved a bit. So these are the options that we are comfortable with, that we would love you to look at and consider. So basically, this would be on page 71 of the master report, but you see there's 3 colors, basically. There's always, you'd want to do a black and white option, but you see there's kind of a prominence of brown, a prominence of teal or green. That's one item to consider. And then when you go to the next page, 72, you'll see here's a brown option that has a moon. So, or a sun, whatever you want. So you could say, oh, with the moon, without the moon. So that's your first variable is the main color. Second variable is, do you like the moon or the sun? And then you'll see that reflected in those next 2 options in the teal or the green. And then finally, these are 3 typefaces that we liked among the many, but you've seen some before, like the Josephine Sands is what was offered initially. The Kaluna is, you might say, more traditional, and the Avenir. But the reason why we sort of like these is because we like the perfect circle that you see in the logo. And so you see in the O's, you've got this circle. So we'd like to see that reflected. So we limited it to that. So this is for your consideration. We're happy with any of these choices. That's why we forwarded them. And here we are. Thoughts? Yeah, please.
Yeah, I just wanted to add, just to let you all know how much went into the process, that we worked with Trippi Smith to talk about the elements that were important to us, that we helped Trippi Smith know Ojai better. And so short of giving a full creative brief, there was a lot of thought and a lot of care that went into this. So I just wanted to add that, and again, these are based on what the council looked at back in April.
And then just maybe this is for Mr. Harvey, but let's talk about where, because we hear some conversation from the public about where does this get used instead of the seal and all that. So let's just give us the briefest outline. Where would this be used?
So briefest outline. The seal is still the city's official identification. So, letterhead, proclamations, plaques, you're going to see the city seal. This helps in the city with its branding effort. Ojai is moving forward, and this is kind of seen as a way to do that. This might be seen on uniforms. This might be seen on vehicles. This could be seen on city facilities. So it's just another way to identify Ojai to the community.
Possibly stationary.
Yes, absolutely. If it's, as long as it's not, we want to draw the line. It could be both, right? So you could have council stationery, for example, that might have this on it. If you're going to have an official resolution, you're going to want that to have the seal of the city on it. But if you're going to be correspondence, just a little more casual, you could do that. It gives you some options.
Right. What I noticed, there was a recent meeting of mayors in our county, and the people's business cards had their new logos on, newish. They were more reflective of the ones that had made changes like that. So I thought, if we do adopt one of these, I would imagine we might go through some business cards.
Yeah, if you do look at our business, and which is fine. I mean, if you look at our business cards, they're very, very dated. They're beige with brown font with the seal, and they look very 1970s.
Yeah, and one of the first things that we did with the firm was look at a comparison of many different cities and see what worked, what we liked, what we didn't like. And so they gave us this page full of them, and we selected some of the ones that we wanted to use as direction for them.
And they were close, like Santa Barbara, Thousand Oaks. Like, these are places that they have something, and you could look at those websites yourself and see there's something that's like this.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
this will also help us with our website too. This will
Yeah.
then trickle down. Thank you. Sorry, the other big part. Templates. So PowerPoint presentations will all become. We look for a uniform template based upon what whatever direction you provide, so that there's a color theme and a scheme that you're seeing throughout.
Yeah. So I know some of you have been more interested. Other ones were like, well, you guys decide. But, we would love your feedback.
I'm just curious why, with Ojai being an artistic town, why we didn't reach out to local artists to put their, capture what's truly Ojai.
Well, we talked about this last time, if you recall, but we could talk about it again. My opinion is, in some sense, you might say, well, we have a lot of Ojai local people who install phones and that kind of stuff, but you hire somebody that you get to press and work on. And so we do have a marketing company that we are using. So that's why we leaned on them and their expertise. But we could, if you were to say, let's go back to the drawing board and go out to the Ojai artists, that's going to be a lengthy process, of course. And it's not, we could certainly do that. I would say in this case, the icons that you see here, like the tower and the mountain and the tree, I was trying to imagine you see a car drive by quickly, or I was just going to get one of the city's cards out. And that one is it's complicated, right? That one's got a lot going on in it. And I like it, of course. I like it. It's all fine. But so if you're asking, could we have started over and done something differently? That's a different question than should we do that now?
The other thing Trepepi Smith brings to the table is they are a city agency. That's what they do. So they do communications and branding and this type of thing for cities up throughout California and other states too.
Yeah.
Okay, well.
Yeah.
I like the teal.
Cool. Okay, teal.
I don't want to.
Don't we need to do
sorry.
public comment?
Let's do but thank you. I was ready to go there too. And I have no public comment cards on this item, but anything online?
No, Mayor, there's
Okay. Proceed, please.
Okay, I like the teal.
Yeah.
I don't think we need the sun or the moon.
Okay.
And I prefer the Kaluna typeface.
All right.
There we go.
So I like the teal myself the best. I like them all, but I like the teal the best myself. I was cool with the moon either way, but the Kaluna I thought made the right balance between not too modern because it's got the serifs on the typeface. So I would go with that too.
I think the serifs kind of make a difference, and it's just it's kind of I won't say, a little bit more decorative. The other thing is I don't feel strongly about the moon, the sun, or not. So, however one does it, I just like the simplicity of the sky.
Okay. And we didn't talk about this, but you'll notice this is something that's developed. But look at the teal when you see those, or the green, either one. Do you notice that you see a gradation in the sky, though it's darker going to lighter, and you see a gradation in the mountain? We really liked that, and we thought it added. You'll notice you don't see it in the brown the same way as much in the mountainside, but to me, that added that dimensionality that I thought was really cool. So just a small point, but well, I got your vote. Yeah, we see it. Okay, any thoughts?
Yeah, my thoughts are, I'm going to go in a different direction. I'm not feeling the idea that we need to be more corporate or that we need to be more commercially appealing as a city. And if I did anything at all in terms of having an alternate symbol, it would probably be along the lines of one of our local artists who appear to paint while they're on psychedelics. So vibrant colors, maybe not staying within the lines of, and I would at least like to hear if our local artist committee.
He said he was going to go in a new direction. So
I'm going in a new direction. I mean, I think that if you want to, embrace us and symbolize us, I started thinking about, well, why don't I have a photograph of Topa Topa or something like that? But we've spent a lot of time talking lately about how important our artist community is to us. And I would like, if we're going to do something like this, I would love to see it be just the most vibrant, wild colored representation. Maybe they take what we have here and say, turn this into one of your impressionist kind of motifs, and I'd favor that over what we're proposing.
And I hear what you're saying. The thing I would be concerned about is logos are notoriously difficult in the sense that you're trying to capture as many of your group as you can. So it's always difficult, and you can't say it all. So then the question is, yes, the artist community is totally part of what we're about, but we're also about many other things. So you would want a logo that can get as much of that as you can. So when you hand your business card to another council person from another city, you also want to say, what's the connotation? You're a serious guy.
Well, yeah, I mean, actually.
What do you see my point?
I actually like the idea of handing over a card to somebody with just like a mini piece of art on my card that I'm handing to them to say, I'm from Ojai.
My thought is this will, and we don't have to agree, but my thought is this is going to do that for me. One of the ones you see here is actually, I think it's got a crispness enough that you get it right away. You see what it's about. It's got the icons we're looking for. So for me, it's accomplishing what you're saying, but it may not do that for you.
Yeah. Right.
No, fair enough.
I want to just ask a question. So the first options that we had were actually much more psychedelic colors. They were the bright yellow and the turquoise. And so we toned it down actually based on council feedback.
We did pull it back. That's true.
So
you also have to be able to reproduce this.
That's an issue.
Get it unless you want to have the artist make individual.
No. No, that's always an issue, but it shouldn't be your primary driver, but it's a consideration.
I want to add one thing too, and I think I've been thinking a lot about I've had a number of people reflect to me, that we have why didn't we have a local person work on this, and I think if I had gone, if I were to go back and start over and start from scratch, I would have done this differently. What what and gone that route. The fact that they do work specifically with cities was one of the selling points of working with them in the first place as a PR firm and communications firm. So, so I'm happy with what we have. Like I said, I would go back and do it over again, but we've put a lot of money and time into this, and I'm happy with what we have.
If I could ask you though, would you go through what Ms. Rule just did? What your favorite font, color, and moon or not moon?
Yeah, well, I did like the psychedelic colors of the turquoise and bright yellow.
Okay.
And so the closest one I have is the teal without the moon.
Okay.
And I liked all three of the fonts.
Mhm.
I was happy with all three of them. I think my favorite one still is the Josephine Sands, because the O's are they mirror one another, and so it looks, there's a cohesion in the way that they're framed together. But the Avenir works, the Columna works, both of them have that. I just thought the Josephine Sands was a little more of an exact replica of that circle.
I see that.
And I would be fine with that.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand what you're saying.
I know, it's true.
I'm just going off of
I know
what I
yeah,
saw,
I get it.
and it's not going to change my life. I mean,
No, neither
thank
one.
you-
Of
th-
course
thank
it's
you
not.
for all the work that you've done.
No. It's not
but I
life-changing.
wouldn't want to scrap this and go back to the beginning. We've done enough with this.
I agree.
I think we have good choices here, and I think we should move this forward. I think that both arguments are good. Let's hand a piece of art on our business card. But the other argument is that we are a municipal body, and we have spent a lot of time and a lot of energy on this, and I think they're good.
Yeah, cool.
Let's do it.
All right.
But
Yeah.
There are other things that we could do to involve local artists in the future.
Like the artwork in here.
Like the artwork in here, like the posters for Ojai Day. I think that sitting in whenever we do have our joint meeting with the Arts Commission, let's brainstorm how we can do that more in the future. But we've gone through a process here, and we've spent, time and money on this.
Yeah, so I do want to say I appreciate that you guys have spent a lot of time on this.
Thank you.
Easy.
It's just that I prefer the one we haven't seen that was something splashed out by Gail Childress or, somebody like that who just does amazing things with color.
Understood. The Josephine Sands, the only thing that caught my eye about that, the J is just, it's particular. That's the only thing, which is okay. But then the width of the letters is not the same as the width of the circle, where when I see like the Columna, where I see the kind of the width of the circle and then the width of the font, they seem to match more to me, which is why my eye went to that one more. But I would be cool with all of them, but we should probably, sounds like maybe we have 3 ready to go. Yeah.
I like the weight of the Columna. I just thought it.
Okay.
It's kind of where your eye goes, and your mind says Ojai.
I think that. Are you okay with that? Yeah. Okay. Anything else? Okay. Then I'm happy to make the motion that we will go with the teal logo without the sun or the moon and the Columna font. What a specific.
I'll second it.
Okay. All right.
Mayor Gilman.
Yes.
Councilmember Lang.
Yes.
Councilmember Rule.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Meng.
No.
Councilmember Whitman.
No.
Okay.
Motion passes 3
All right.
to 5.
Our last one, number 10, and we're doing it, man. We're doing it. Okay, number 10.
You have 9.
Oh no,
actually, Mayor.
darn it.
Close.
Number 9
Close.
first. Then 10. Okay, number 9.
Okay, Mayor, just briefly, this
Yep.
is kind of
Sorry.
a companion item. This goes a little bit with what you just adopted. This is contract amendment to the Trepepi Smith contract to allow for the logo work that you just approved so that you can have a package that corresponds to what you just decided on. This also allows for the potential production of a State of the City video, which we would like to do involving all the council, just, to explain, what we've done and what we're looking forward to. We would envision this to complement an in-person meeting where there was an address delivered, but the video would be presented as well, and then it would be resident on the website and other places. And then lastly, this also is a bit of a catch-up for work, additional work that we had to do in order to produce the budget book, the hard copy budget book that you saw recently, that we just went over with the effort involving Trepepi Smith. So it's $20,000 request, and that completes us on this, and happy to answer any questions you might have.
If I might add, the thing about the video, you can search this yourself. If you can see State of the City videos from many cities. It can be such an amazing piece. Some cities have, larger cities than Ojai, they have 8 videos around subject areas, but it's the council people are on camera talking about their interests, what they've worked on. Sometimes their staff, I would encourage that too, but whatever. But then it just becomes a way that we get to talk about the things that are happening with visuals, where you get to see, projects in process. So to me, it could be a really wonderful way of communicating what we're up to, which I do feel a lot of times our job ends up being explaining what is happening. It's filling in information blanks. It's understanding how processes work. And I think my opinion is, with all of us involved, that a video could go a long way.
Well, the other thing I'll add is that you guys are a body, and you each add a unique contribution, and you come at it in different areas, and you work together, but you don't always align on things. And so it's always very interesting to hear what this council member thought about this or that, or what they're looking forward to, or what their main focus is.
And it's not easy making a video. I do. Yeah.
I'll just start. I remember 6 months ago when this came to us to renew their contract, and at that time we said we would look at different firms in Ventura County. I went down, did a little on the website, social media and all of that. For what we're paying, we have like no engagement, 22 posts in January on Facebook, 259 likes, 136 comments, 50 shares. It just, they make mistakes. There's something on today's Facebook where it's talking about equipment, power equipment, and it says to opt in. It's not an option. We can't, you know what I mean? We don't have electric, or we don't have gas equipment. And on there, on this social media, it makes it sound like you have an option what you want to use. And there's just, I'm not impressed. I don't, mean to be that girl, but, typos, different things that I would like to look at something else. I still believe having somebody involved in Ojai to engage with social media input would be nice, instead of having constituents, voicing their opinion. Maybe both of them are incorrect, and nobody from the city, nobody from them steps in and says, no, here's what the deal is.
Well, yeah, on that topic, that's very deliberate. So when you're posting in social media and you're putting information out there, we're very reticent to respect the First Amendment. And so unless there is really something where it's just an instance where somebody has gotten something very wrong that we feel very comfortable stepping in and saying, actually, it's on Sunday instead of on Tuesday, this meeting you're talking about, you will not see us doing that, because we're careful not to step on somebody's First Amendment rights and start a dialogue and a back and forth. And that's deliberate. And that would be with anybody that you go with. Now, with that said, we are planning on bringing back a contract to you prior to the budget, and if you'd like to, we could go out for RFP for this instead of doing that. That's fine if council wants to do that.
That's something I would like. I think for the amount of money we're paying them, we could have an employee that's, current on everything Ojai and all of that.
Sort of, except for, remember, they also do your newsletter. They have, several people that work I think it'd be very difficult to have one person do all the stuff that they do. I just don't think that you're going to be able to
If
do
I could
that.
add one piece. So if you had a marketing team, that's different. So you say, here's a writer, here's a designer, here's a website programmer, whatever. Because if you said, we need to do an emergency piece where we're writing something, that's not a designer. So it's not just a person. It would be a very unusual person if they could do all of those things. Now, that's not to say we shouldn't send it out. But what I mean to say is it's not just one person.
Yeah, I agree. I
Yeah.
would like to send it out, then would
Yeah.
be my input, just to see.
But that's, of course, not what we're asking for tonight.
Yep.
Tonight is just simply, we're looking for
A
some
small
additional
increase.
funds towards this contract. You know, I understand that we're talking about future potential direction, which is fine.
I'm not convinced that we need a state of the city video. And I also like, I like the idea that we'd hire an Ojai resident to do this work. It's possible that the person who can do it doesn't exist, but I'd at least like to find out if they do. I mean, I know that one of our comment letters from the on the last item was from a graphic artist who lives in town. So I feel like increasingly like I would like to hire Ojai people to do Ojai jobs. And, you know, one of the things that I talk to people, you know, new to Ojai about is that it's really hard to figure out who Ojai people are and the way they think. It's very difficult to predict, and really the only way to have some success with that is to live here for a while. So that's kind of where I am on that issue.
Just to say, a lot of the marketing feedback, design feedback that we will receive are from people that have moved here not very long ago. So in other words, there's always going to be lots of views. And my other opinion about a video that I find interesting when I looked at other cities' videos and I looked at how many views they had and things is that all of us have the potential of getting feedback in pretty serious silos. In other words, we come to a meeting and we think, I know what the public thinks. And if you really, really seriously look at it, yes, the 20 people who agree with you told you what they think, and you think you know what the city thinks. And it seems to me we've got to work really, really hard to get other views and not think we know what the city thinks. And it seems to me a video, something that lives out on the internet that talks about multiple views. It doesn't have to be these guys doing it, but I would suggest we should do one. I think it can have a life on its own and it keeps working when we're not in the office, my opinion. Yeah.
So I wanted to just talk about the social media part of it, because to your point, Mayor Pro Tem, before we brought Trepepe Smith on, nothing was cohesive. It looked like the graphics were created in like some old template style from, you know, I don't know. And the engagement was a lot less. They were getting maybe 3 likes per one. And so our engagement has improved. There is a consistent look and feel. You know when you see something when you're scrolling through Nextdoor or through Instagram that this is the city of Ojai, and you know, and it's easily repostable and shareable and all of that. So I think there are some things that they're doing well. I agree with you, there are typos, and there are some things that make me cringe. But usually if I catch something, I'll tell the city manager and they can fix it pretty fast. So it's not perfect. And there could be more direction. but it is a lot. It's like a 79% improvement over what we have, or what we had.
I agree with that.
I am all in favor of doing the State of the City video. I think it would be something that we could have on our website, that it would engage people. Everything's video now. Everything in social media. Actually, we could have more video on our social media, more reels and more the short form videos specifically is what is more popular. That said, I am not committed to Trepepi Smith to do the video. I think, yeah, I'd be curious to see what proposals come back if we did an RFP for that specific project. The rate, in my experience, is really good here. So I think it would probably be a little more difficult for someone who's an independent filmmaker to come back with this amount. But I would love to see what we have. Who in our community. We have amazing talent in our community, and so I would love to open that up. So I'm in favor of moving forward with Trepepi Smith for the existing work that they're doing, and with opening up an RFP process for the State of the City video.
That's a good compromise. How are you feeling?
I'm fine with that.
Okay.
I would be fine with Trepepi Smith doing it. I'm also fine with putting it out for a local artist. Once again, I think the same kind of concerns that you would have, consistency, experience with doing, this kind of State of the City address, all of that. I mean, it's a skill, and it's sort of tailored skill. It's not a film. I mean, you can get a great filmmaker who just simply couldn't do it. But I'm happy to put it out to, local marketing people and see what comes up. I think it's going to make the process longer. I think it's going to make the process more iffy. I think potentially, I'm concerned with the speed at which we do things, honestly. And I've had some ideas around, how we can be more efficient and effective in what we do, from our council meetings to everything else. I think this will probably take us a good bit longer, may or may not be as good. But if the council wants to throw it out to local Ojai artists, I support that, sure.
One thing I would add, I think we could also have Trepepi Smith submit a proposal as well. So, and when you receive these kind of proposals, you get reels, you get things that you get samples of work. So we would factor that in. But I think opening it up with them or with community members or people from Ventura County, I think that would be a good way to go.
Yeah,
sure.
Seems fine.
Yeah, it seems fine. Absolutely.
Because I like your timing actually does seem correct. So we see what their price is, which does seem low to me, but let's see what we get in the community. Yeah, and we can decide, well, knowing that timing's a factor.
And I think you're right. I mean, we will be able to tell by the reels that we get whether or not, they have the experience doing this, they get the concept, or maybe we'll just get something that's psychedelic and we'll say, let's go.
So, Mr. Harvey, if the motion were something like, we move to approve the ongoing work on the logo and their continuing work, but we remove the State of the City video production to put it out for bid.
Absolutely, we can do that. Whatever you guys want.
No, I mean that's clear for you, and that makes sense. Okay.
And I would say, make it too complicated.
Yeah.
It's really a man on the street interview when it comes right down to it.
Yeah.
With some polish.
I think, like you guys said, time is of the essence.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want it to land in November.
Right.
Right.
Let's keep moving.
And we can, I think if we did like a 30-day RFP process, we could all reach out to our friends who are videographers or who have their marketing companies.
All good.
Great.
Okay. Well, I basically outlined it, so I'll make the motion that we approve the Trepepi Smith increase for the logo and completed previously directed work not including the state of the video production, which we will send out a request for proposals. Right? Okay.
I'll
Cool.
second it.
All right. Any more discussion? Okay. Roll call, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Meng.
Yes.
Councilmember Lang.
Yes.
Councilmember Rule.
Yes.
Mayor Gilman.
Yes.
Councilmember Whitman.
Yes.
Motion
All
passes.
right. Can we do this in 15 minutes?
Yes.
It'd be cool if we could.
Okay,
All right,
guys.
we can do this.
All right.
Public safety, let's
Okay.
do it.
They've hung in here.
They have hung
No,
in here.
I love
so
it. Let's do it.
let's
Okay.
do
Okay.
it.
Okay, I'm gonna be super brief. Ready? Here we go.
Yeah.
You guys have talked about this for a long time. We're creating a separate forum. It's a city advisory body. The appointment process would work just the same as it does with all the other city advisory boards. It's outlined and detailed in the proposed code. It's a little bit, you're gonna see some sections that are a little bit different because it's an inaugural effort, right? So you have to start it. It's not in existence. The idea is this creates a place where residents and the public can come to voice concerns related to public safety. So I'm talking about things related to streets, sidewalks, vehicles, pedestrians, bicycles, fire, emergency preparedness. And then this body makes recommendations just like any other city advisory body, which come to you. It would be staffed by the police and fire chiefs as well as the public works director so that subject matter experts are there able to answer questions. I'm proposing, but it can be up to you. I think we landed on 3 members who live in town, 2 who could live in the valley, but that's all up to you, of course. I'm super excited about this. I had this in the last city where I worked, and it was really a great forum. And it's also a place where the council can direct items to be discussed and vetted. It seems to work really well. And then it also keeps you as a policy board from maybe discussing some things that maybe you shouldn't be, getting so much in the weeds about, and maybe it's better if it first gets fleshed out before it comes to you. So that's all I have, and thank you for allowing us to bring this to you.
That's great. Questions for staff before public comment? Okay, Larry Steingold, please first, and then Wayne Maynard. Wayne, you're like ready, man. Okay.
More than, thank you. Good evening. I think it's a good commission to have. One of the issues I believe it says they do not have the responsibility to investigate specific issues, but that's what causes public safety things to be corrected, specific issues. So that's part of it. I don't know if that would be contradictory as to the documents, but if you're listening to me, that's fine. But anyway, it's a good thing. I would vote for it and get it up and running so that you people don't have to deal with those things. You're going to get to them eventually, but have somebody cut it off. There's a lot of people here who know how to handle this stuff that can take the burden off you. So, thank you.
Just, Mr. Harvey, no, it's okay, Larry, thank you. When it says responsibility for investigating specific incidents, I get you wouldn't want to say you're investigating this car crash, but that doesn't mean a neighborhood or a street or something like that. Could be specific.
Yeah, so it's more, somebody comes in and says, I've observed this in my neighborhood, and then you've got the public works director and the chiefs there, and they could say, okay, we'll look into that. It's not so much directing staff. I mean, that's nothing different than we do today. We get a phone call, we get an email, we investigate.
Okay, Mr. Maynard, please, thank you.
Hello, Wayne Maynard, resident of Ojai.
Hi.
I support this as well. I think it's a good move for the city. I do have a concern about one section in the proposed ordinance. That would be section 3-9.05 organization.
Okay.
The last sentence where you're limiting a meeting of no more than once a month. There may be something where an emergency thing comes up, or they have a continuing project and they want to meet more frequently. I don't think we should tie their hands on that. Maybe this is for like normal meeting schedules once a month, but I don't think we need to say you can't meet more than once a month.
Thank you. Well, I take that. That sounds good to me, to authorize that to meet more as needed. So if we were to proceed today and go forward.
Mayor
Oh, no,
Gilman,
sorry. Go ahead.
I do have someone online.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
That's
Thanks
okay.
for interrupting.
Tony, you are unmute and you're allowed to speak now.
Oh, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Good evening, Mayor and Council members. My name is Tony Yano. I'm the owner of Ojai Mountain Farm.
Oh, this is not the issue that you're thinking of. We're talking about the.
Okay, I was wondering. I thought it was a little premature there. Thank you.
No worries. No problem. Okay. Anybody else online for this issue?
No, Mayor, there's
Okay, no worries at all. Okay. Got it. All right. Well, so my question is, if we were to proceed and go forward today, then during the course of the time before the next meeting, then we would initiate then the nominations of folks, come back for basically the constitution of this committee.
Yeah, but I guess before then, it has to have a second read, obviously.
Yes,
it would have to be approved on second reading,
Mhm.
and we would have the publication date. Basically, the ordinance would be effective 30 days after its approval date.
Right.
So we have to publish notice and then the effective date.
And the second reading sorry, thank you for being specific. The second reading would include who we're bringing forward to constitute the committee.
No,
or
that
not?
would happen after
That
the
would happen
committee has
after
been
it.
established.
Fine, great.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Even easier.
And just, we have rotation. I don't know, because we have three commission members who should live in Ojai and two who should not. It could matter, like how the rotation was actually, what the rotation order was. So that needs to be figured out as well. I don't know,
You mean in the future?
Well, I mean, when we start nominating people, okay? So, like, if I'm the fourth person nominating and, I don't have an option of going outside of the city because that's already been taken.
No, that's not the way it works.
My understanding was that it
Yeah.
was that it could be, but that like other ordinances, that we have to have three.
Right.
But the other two, we'd prefer, we'd prefer it to be in the city, but it could be outside of the city. Is that correct?
I think what, not to speak for you, Councilmember
Go ahead,
Rule, I think
please.
what I understand your
too.
concern being is that if, for example,
The
only
two-
two
yeah.
members can be from the Ojai Valley, and those two members
Are
have already
are-
been
right,
selected.
exactly, are already, and I'm the third
Yeah.
rotation.
I get your
So
point.
we just need to
yeah.
figure out how that plays out, and it may be academic, or it may not. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and I've thought about how you might make those selections, and one idea I had, and it may not be a great idea, but open for consideration, is it could just be a lottery or some sort of random draw. We randomly assign.
That makes perfect sense to me.
It's also including or contemplating that there would be staggered terms. So 3 members would be appointed for
We have that.
like roughly a 3.5-year term, and the other 2 members would be for a 1.5-year term. And so I think we would, try to find a way to randomly assign, who gets which spots for purposes of that assignment.
Yeah, I think that's fine. I mean, I know that normally Weston has just gone down numerically, 1, 2, 3, 4. But you see that. Anyway, I just wanted to bring that up as something that we could consider. It's not germane right here, right now, in the passing of this, but it might come up in the future.
I think the
that's all.
lottery's fair.
Yeah, I would agree with the lottery. Pick a name out of the hat, whatever it is.
Super.
So, this has been presented a little bit differently than I thought in our prior discussions. I was envisioning that police chief, fire chief, and public works director were actually going to be members of the committee or commission, in that we were going to add members of the public. Doesn't work that way, huh?
No, you've blurred the lines when you do that. You don't want to have staff members serving on in a body that's advisory to the council. We do have that with the Finance and Budget Committee. I don't love that either. I think you want to keep that distinct, and that puts them in an awkward position. They can come to you as part of the council meeting and you give their professional recommendations on things, but you don't want to give them that dual. It's like adding weight to their title. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this is meant to be a place where the citizens are engaged.
And that is, so I'm not crazy about the formation of commissions as an idea. I like the idea of doing workshops and ad hocs, maybe more so for handling, city issues. So I do see a need for a forum for the community to come in and express their concerns about safety issues and that we can vet them. So my preference would be that we do a workshop that allows the community to come in and express their concerns, and that we look at that as a starting point for deciding whether how much need there is for doing that in the future. And
I can be misunderstanding, but I thought that we agreed that we wanted a commission, and we have tasked staff to come back with how that structure would be.
I believe it's a goal and a tactic, if I do recall.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to make a motion.
Please do.
Because I think we have talked about this. This was started with Taylor. This was a good while ago. So I'm going to just make a motion that we pass the ordinance number 972, amending Title III of the Ojai Municipal Code to add a new Chapter 9, establishing a Public Safety Commission, as is indicated. Yeah.
I was just going to say one point for clarification that we're not passing it. We're just introducing it on first reading.
Okay, I'd like to introduce it on first reading. So
I second that.
Strike that.
Can we add the language? Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Right. Anything else? I seconded.
Ready?
Okay.
Councilmember Lang.
Yes.
Councilmember Whitman.
No?
Mayor Gilman.
Yes.
Councilmember Rule.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Meng.
No.
Okay. All right. We are at the end. So I do have here council member reports, etc., but we are at 9 o'clock for our closed session, so we will go to that, if that's okay with everybody. But we do want to say, before we go to our closed session, any public comments on the closed session?
Well,
yeah, please go ahead.
Because that's actually a separate notice meeting. We could.
Shall we finish?
I would recommend that we close the regular meeting and then reopen the special meeting.
Sounds good. Does anybody have any council member comments?
I have one council member comment.
Great.
And that is that on March 4th, so Wednesday, the Chamber is having an event on the creative economy. It starts at 8:30. It's a breakfast, and it will be at the Ojai Retreat, and it's going to be a fantastic event and a great opportunity to learn about more about the creative economy and how we can all be a part of it.
Thank you for that. Wonderful. Yes.
No.
Okay. No, super great. Any future agenda items? I know we have a long list already, but I'm saying it because it's on the thing. Okay, so we will adjourn our regular meeting, and now we'll move to our City Council special meeting, the closed session. All right, and these are my comments. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Okay. Yep. Take your time.
I do.
Wait, hold on. We are back. You guys need a minute anyway.